I apologize for making you witness that.
You mean hearing the origins of the Renans?
Indeed. It's shocking to have so many things I thought to be indelible fade away in mere seconds.
Even I'm still not sure everything we've heard here is actually true.
Let's not delude ourselves. If what we've heard is a lie, it's a rather elaborate one. I can only imagine that you must have been constantly feeling like this, ever since your memory returned, Alphen. And you as well, Shion. About your thorns, and being a maiden.
That's just part of being alive, don't you think?
Well, to say the least. But enough about me. I'm not concerned for myself. What concerns me is all of the other Renans out there.
When you say the other Renans, you mean the ones that are living on Lenegis or Dana, right?
Correct. Even if we stop the Great Spirit from annihilating Dana, our problems will still remain. Putting aside the untold state that Rena may be in, if we do not truly belong there, we will have to think long and hard about where it is that we wish to return to.
So, I guess your only real choices at this point are to either stay on Lenegis or come down to Dana, huh? And right now, Lenegis might not even be a safe option.
And at the same time, Danans are hardly likely to embrace Renans with open arms. If the issue is forced, things could turn dire. There is, after all, 3 centuries worth of hatred to overcome between us. And the victims of our rule have absolutely every right to feel animosity towards us Renans. Our own circumstances as the aggressors are irrelevant.
I didn't expect the former Lord of Menancia to be so down about people reconciling.
Menancia's fate was a stroke of good luck. There had been backlash over how it had been ruled, and I was blessed to have sympathizers among my ranks. Still, even now, there remain ardent dissidents.
But things can still change if you have the right people to help lead the way. Isn't that what you hope to achieve on Lenegis, after this is all over?
Indeed. I have fully accepted the burden of that responsibility. In that regard, I remain determined. On that note, I have something of a favor to ask of you, Alphen.
Oh? What is it?
I wish for you to serve as a mediator so that the Renans can live on Dana peaceably. As the one and only Blazing Sword, I suspect the Danans may listen to what you have to say when problems arise.
And I take it that you'll be the one to represent the Renans?
Yes. I realize that I'm asking quite a lot of you. However, the fact of the matter is that it will take time for Renans to re-enter Danan society without any bloodshed. That is why...
You're the same as ever, Dohalim.
Is it too much?
No, relax. You get so tense and formal when you're asking for a favor. Listen, there's no need for that. We're friends.
You're too kind. I can see you were raised well.
That's some high praise, Alphen.
Then I'll ask once again, this time just as friends. Alphen, will you help me?
You don't even need to ask. Of course I will.
Thank you, my friend.
I still can't believe it, man.
You're not the only one still trying to make sense of all this. Believe me.
Really? You've never struck me as the type of guy to get hung up on these sorts of things.
Did you forget what happened back in Thistleum? Once my memories started coming back to me, I felt completely and totally lost.
It was really that bad for you?
Yeah, it was. But thanks to Law and everybody else, I remembered that I still had things out there worth fighting for.
Man, I think you might be a better guy than me, Alphen. All I can remember thinking was, when's this guy gonna get his act together?
Law.
I was too worried about repeating the same mistakes I'd made back with my dad, and running away from the truth. That was no way to live, and I've tried to stay strong, my way. But all this talk about other races and the world ending, If I can be honest with you guys, it's just all too much for me to handle right now.
I know this is going to sound strange coming from me, but maybe the key is not to worry too much about the big stuff right now.
Oh?
I used to worry all the time about my thorns, for obvious reasons, but I never really opened up to anyone about them. And when I realized my visions pointed to a threat that was bigger than me, I didn't know what I should do or who to tell. But that's when I finally got it. You guys were all there for me, to teach me what's really important. I just had to open up and listen.
In other words, if you let the big picture stuff get you all muddled up inside, you'll begin to lose sight of what you really care about. Yeah, I think you're right.
The thing that's most important, what I really care about. All I want to do is protect the people that really matter to me, to fight for them. That's good enough, right?
Not everyone is strong enough to fight.
Huh?
It's something your dad told me once when he was still alive. Law, you know you're strong enough to fight, and you're strong enough to protect the people you care about. Forget all the big stuff going on. Just don't lose sight of what you want to protect in the first place. Sound good?
Yeah, I think it does. It's like a big weight's been lifted off my shoulders. I'll fight to protect the people around me. Just like I always have. I think that's best.
You both seem awfully calm.
Only because after everything we've seen, we don't have the energy to keep being shocked.
How are you holding up, Rinwell? That whole talk about the Renans looked like it shook you up a bit.
Yeah. I get this sinking feeling whenever I remember how Dan and mages like my family were persecuted and died out. And now, I finally know why that is. But I was thinking, if Renans end up living together with Danans again, then mages won't be such an unusual thing to see on Dana anymore, right? I know it's not as simple as all that, but Danans probably won't be so quick to let their guards down, and there might be Renans who still act superior because of their arts.
It wouldn't surprise me. 300 years of bad blood and prejudice isn't going to be an easy thing to overcome.
Yeah. I know firsthand just how much hatred can take hold in your heart once you let it in. But even so, I was still able to change. And if I can change, so can anyone else. So I was thinking maybe, I don't know, I could use my position as both a Danan and a mage to help bring both sides together.
Rinwell.
That great spirit worries me too, though. Dana's will feels so warm and inviting. So why is Rena's will trying to destroy our entire planet?
Now that you mention it, Everett 35 and the other scientists here never really brought that up. Maybe they don't know either.
Maybe. But regardless, at the end of the day, Dan is still our home. There's no way we can let it be destroyed.
We won't. We'll keep it safe no matter what.
Oh, it's you two. Does he seem like he's doing any better now?
He who? Oh, you mean Dohalim, don't you?
I know that we're all struggling to wrap our minds around it all, but he looked like he was taking it really hard earlier.
What do you think about everything we've learned? About the Renans and the Great Spirit and all that?
On some level, I'm not even really sure what to think, to be honest. I mean, the Great Spirit is like a huge natural disaster, but with a mind and will of its own. But if that thing's hellbent on trying to destroy our planet, then the only thing left for us to do is stop it. As for the Renans, I suppose my feelings on that are a bit more mixed.
How so?
Coexistence between Danans and Renans in Menancia is still a work in progress. In my case, I think that's partly because deep down, I was still on guard around Renans. So, to be told that they're like us, that they're actually just like us is, well, I guess it's a little deflating, to be honest.
You kept a pretty level head.
You mean about the Renans? At the end of the day, the Helganquil and the Great Spirit are the ones who are responsible. But at the same time, I realize that not every Danan is necessarily going to believe that either.
I know you're already aware of this, but the list of grievances the Danans have against the Renans is long, and understandably so. And if people then find out that they're all actually one and the same, yeah, I don't think they're going to take to it too kindly.
Even just among the Danans, I'm sure there'll be some who emerge with power and some who won't. I think if we can find a way to get rid of that imbalance, then we'll be in a truly good place.
Well, first we can try to figure out what to do about the existing conflicts we have.
Yeah. It'd be nice if one day people could learn to get past their hatred like Rinwell did.
It's no small task. We can't pretend like the past didn't happen and ask people to forget their very real pain and suffering.
Right. Everybody has their reasons for feeling the way that they do. But if we just keep yelling at each other about it, we'll never move on. In a worst-case scenario, it might lead to even more people getting killed.
And we all have to figure out how to meet halfway. Not just that, but to also embrace each other's pain, in a sense.
That's an interesting way of putting it.
It's true. Everybody has their own scars, their own trauma. The first step to healing those wounds is to put aside that hatred. It won't be achieved through reasoning, but I think it's a good first step, if nothing else. And now, I think I see a way to move forward. But to do that, first we need to make sure our planet isn't going to get wiped out.
Well, it sounds like everyone's learning from their past and using it to create a better future for everyone.
What about you, Shion? How do you feel about the origin of the Renans?
To be honest, I'm not really all that shocked, actually. I mean, I might be a Renan in the literal sense, but I've never really felt like one of them. Right now, it's kind of a mystery.
How do you mean?
Because for a really, really long time, all I ever thought about was how I was going to die. Not if or when, but how. I thought I'd die alone. That fate had me in its steely grip. I would have never imagined that I'd be traveling with someone like you, fighting to save Rena and Dana. I mean, how could I have? It's been going on for 300 years. All this tragedy and destruction. When you consider the Helganquil's part in all this, it's been even longer than that. It was Naori's hope that somehow, someone in the future would be able to stop it before it was too late. How it fell on us, of all people, to heed that call is a mystery.
I don't think Naori was hoping that we would just stop the world from getting destroyed. She considered me, a Danan, as a real person. And she very much cherished her own people, too. I don't think she wanted the world to be saved just so they could go back to hurting each other. Oh, maybe this is what she meant.
Huh?
When we were talking to Kisara earlier, about all that stuff like everyone's needing to meet halfway and embrace each other's pain and suffering. She said that the first step down that path was for each of us to put aside our own hatred. That means forgiving other people, even and especially before they forgive you.
Forgiving. So it goes both ways, right? Is that what you're saying?
Yeah. I don't just mean forgiving things that happened in the past either. Conflicts will keep happening. If we have any hope of moving on and building a better future, we have to all learn to forgive each other.
You know, you're right. People can hurt one another without even meaning to. I know that better than most, thanks to these thorns.
It's not going to be easy getting past this pain. But if we can do it, I'm sure there'll come a time when we can all truly understand each other. I'm there with you, Shion. I too want to protect the world we live in, and all the people we care about. I think that's the very least I can do to repay Naori for everything that she did.
Yeah. I want a future that she would feel proud to live in, and I'm going to fight for it.
Whoa there, Savior Girl. We're here to save you too, you know.
Yes, I know. Don't worry, I haven't forgotten. I want to live, and that's the honest truth.
Well, is everybody ready to do what needs to be done?
I am. There's a lot to think about, but at the end of the day, Dan is still in danger. I don't care who we're up against. We'll kick their ass.
What are your thoughts, Alphen? I want to know what's on your mind, too.
Like Law said, if we have to fight the Great Spirit on Rena, then so be it. It's trying to rob us of our entire world, and it's going to take not just our home, but all of existence along with it. That alone is enough to make it our enemy. But it's not only that. One way or another, I think beating the Great Spirit is going to be tied to us saving Shion.
You're saying there's a chance?
You're referring to the vision of destruction we all saw in Lenegis, I take it?
Yeah. 3 centuries ago, the astral energy that appeared at the spirit channeling ceremony showed Naori that vision. And to hear Shion tell it, it's the same one that she sees from her own thorns as well.
Indeed. Shion's thorns are comprised of dark astral energy, the one type which we know is native only to Rena. And if Rena's great spirit is what's behind Dana's pending destruction, then...
Shion's thorns are the Great Spirit? It's not actually on Rena like we thought?
We don't know anything for certain. At the very least, though, I think it's possible her thorns are a part of the Great Spirit.
While the main body resides in Rena.
Shion.
If these thorns really are a part of Rena's great spirit, I'm going to go over there and give it a piece of my mind and then some.
The question is, how do we confront it? Suffice it to say, that flower growing out of Rena is enormous, large enough to house the will of an entire planet. The Wedge and Lenegis were both hard enough for us to overcome in their own right. This is an altogether greater challenge for merely 6.
And we only know about the Thorns connection thanks to Naori.
Hevric 35 has been observing the Great Astral Spirit this whole time. It wouldn't ask us to fight it unless it has a plan of some sort. Let's go see what that is. Our minds are made up. Let's go give Hevric 35 our answer.
So if the Sovereign and Maiden were originally boot-up programs for Lenegis, what about now?
Even with the Forbidden Zone in ruins and the Renis Alma stolen, Lenegis is functioning fine. If it needed us before, it doesn't appear to now.
First they lumber you with a position you never asked for, then you're discarded like you're nothing? Who the hell do they think they are?
More importantly, who do they think we are? We might not even factor into their list of concerns.
I just hope everyone on Lenegis is safe.
Worst comes to worst, Lenegis is equipped with a large number of starships that people can escape in. As long as the whole satellite doesn't suddenly explode or something, they should be fine.
Wait, explode?
In any case, if we're truly going to make a difference, it's on Rena we're needed, not Lenegis. The people there will be fine, I'm sure of it.
Right.
Do you have your answer for me?
We want to ask something first. You're asking us to fight an entire planet. How exactly do you expect us to do that? You must have something up your sleeve, or else you wouldn't put us up to it.
The great astral spirit is an immense being, but its actual will does not run throughout its entire body. Rather, its will is derived from the core, which supports the rest of the body, and is where its strength is most densely concentrated. Therefore, if you destroy the core, the Great Spirit shall become unable to maintain sentience and return to being ordinary astral energy.
And how are we supposed to destroy that core?
By using the Renus Alma. You will also need the assistance of both the Sovereign and the Maiden. They are our best tools for suppressing and controlling astral energy. Using their powers, the Maiden shall seal the great astral spirit within her body, and the Sovereign shall wield the power of the Renus Alma to destroy it.
Hold on. That sounds a lot like what Shion described before.
Yeah, killing herself to take out the thorns with her.
She was actually right all along.
By my calculations, your powers combined should be sufficient to destroy the great astral spirit and disperse its energy widely enough to make it difficult to reform.
What will happen to the Maiden once we manage to beat the great astral spirit?
Any matter contained within the field of destruction shall be erased.
So it really will kill me.
This method is the most simple one available to destroy the Great Spirit, and is therefore our most reliable option.
What are our other options?
There is little reason to consider alternative courses of action when the most optimal among them is so clear.
You don't get it. I promised Shion that she wouldn't die, that we'd save the world without needing to sacrifice her. We didn't fight this whole time just to give up on her at the very end. If there's any other way to take out the Great Spirit, I want to hear it.
This plan shall lead to the fewest losses in preserving your world. Abandoning it is irrational. It is vital that you proceed with this plan. A part of Rena's great astral spirit already resides within her. 300 years ago, the Great Spirit descended upon Lenegis in an attempt to assume direct control of the spirit channeling ceremony. We have reason to believe the Great Spirit left part of itself behind, and that it now resides in the Maiden.
Which would make Alphen's earlier hypothesis correct.
That part inside the Maiden belongs to the core, and can be used by the great astral spirit to revive itself. So long as it remains, it will be all but impossible to fully eradicate the Great Spirit. That is why it is necessary for it to be vanquished only once it is whole. Without the Maiden's direct control over the Great Spirit, attacking it is futile, and will only serve to strengthen it.
No.
Wait. Naori said that the Renus Alma can suppress the self-realization of astral energy, and that the thorns can be neutralized by placing them in it. If so, can't the same also be done to the Great Spirit, seeing as the thorns are simply part of it?
Well, can it?
It is true that the Renus Alma is capable of what you suggest, and could contain the great astral spirit.
Yes!
However, doing so requires fine control on the level of the spirit channeling ceremony. Considering that the Renus Alma was previously lost when that ceremony failed, I cannot allow it. its uncertainty is simply too great.
What does that mean for us if you won't allow it?
Your starship will not be restored, and you will all be unable to leave here.
Why you?
Fine then. I'd rather stay here and rot than do it your way.
Alphen?
Whatever we do, if we mess up, Dana's screwed. The Great Spirit will destroy it. If you're fine letting that happen, and we have nothing to gain either way, then I'd rather do nothing. We want to stop Dana from getting destroyed. We want to save it. But not if it means having to sacrifice one of us in the process. If all you're gonna do is sit back and watch us where it's safe, then quit ordering us around and shut up!
Alphen.
What you say is irrational. Be that as it may, I shall accede to your demand.
You'll agree?
I am an observer. The Sovereign, Maiden, and Renis Alma are my species' greatest achievement. I wish to see how well they work against the Great Spirit in light of our demise by its hands.
But what are we supposed to do about the Renis Alma? One of your buddies ran off with it back on Lenegis.
It is likely that the Renis Alma is with the Great Spirit, functioning as a catalyst for it to receive Dana's astral energy.
So our only option to retrieve it is to head straight for the Great Spirit and take it back?
According to my observations, the astral energy is most densely concentrated in the center of Rena, where the Great Spirit's core is located.
So right in the middle of that giant flower, then.
I have one more question. You've said that Rena's great astral spirit is already integrated with the planet. What will happen to Rena once it vanishes?
Without the will of the Great Spirit, Rena is predicted to collapse. Even in such a scenario, the energy will disperse, and the Great Spirit will likely not reform.
So you're saying that even if we manage to beat the Great Spirit without destroying it, we'll still be in danger?
Likely, the collapse will occur in stages. It is recommended that you all escape before the final stage.
Man, I wish that thing would tell it to us straight for once.
Hevrek-35 and the others have gotten used to hypothesizing from afar is all. Fix our starship. We're going to Rena.
Excellent.
But I want to make one thing clear. We're doing this for ourselves, to protect what matters to us. We're not doing it for your sake, or because you told us to. Remember that.
It matters little to me. The end result shall be the same. Repair work on your starship has commenced. You'll have to wait until it's finished.
Man, is it too much to ask for Hevrek-35 to talk like a normal person? I swear I can feel my brain starting to fry after listening to all that complicated stuff.
Don't worry. I think we're mostly done with him. Now all we have to do is rest up and wait. Once the Fall Knights is good to go again, we'll be taking off for Rena right away. Is the Renis Alma really our only hope against the Great Spirit? There has to be another way, right?
Shion's Fire Master Core was able to suppress astral energy to prevent it from gaining sentience, right? Couldn't we make use of that somehow?
I'm not sure. In small doses, maybe, and with the amount of energy we're talking about here.
Back in Calaglia, the Blazing Sword was able to take in a whole spirit vessel's worth of energy. If it has the capacity to manage that, it can do this, right?
Except after it absorbed the energy, it ended up releasing it all moments later, remember? Let's not forget, it nearly killed you. Besides, this is the Great Spirit we're talking about, not a paltry vessel. Even if I could use the Master Core, your body wouldn't be able to take the strain of channeling that much energy.
Hevrek-35 didn't mention it, and it did not seem the type to skimp on details, so assuming it's even possible, the chances are slim to none.
You're probably right.
You still thinking about what the scientists told us? About where Renans really come from?
I am, but not for myself.
You're worried about the future of the Renan people.
The fact that our people have been the same this whole time will only give the Danans further reason to resent us.
But you still intend to confront this truth head-on, don't you?
Well, I did declare that I would live my life for the living, and not the dead. Even as I dream of retirement, I shall remain dedicated to the cause.
I'm sure you'll do great.
Now that I think about it, I don't believe I've ever heard you criticize or reproach us Renans even once.
I'm no saint. I have skeletons in my closet too. There was definitely a time when I hated Renans for who they were. I hated them just for being Renan. But you changed that, Dohalim. You gave me an opportunity to see them in a different light. Thanks to your reforms, we were able to stand next to Renans not as slaves, but as equals for the first time in our lives. Of course, I'm sure there were some Renans who still hated us on the inside. But we knew that not all of you were like that. There were those of you who were good, and that was a start. When it comes down to it, Renans are just people. They can be good or bad, just like Danans.
That is, in essence, the heart of your approach, isn't it? That we're all people.
Yeah, it is. When you can pull someone aside and talk to them one-on-one, then you have the chance to come to an understanding. But as soon as you stereotype, that chance goes away, and you stop thinking of them as people that you can relate to.
I understand what you're saying, but we're talking about massive numbers of Renans and Danans alike. Realistically speaking, surely they won't all be able to get along.
Even if we end up butting heads with one person, maybe we'll find better luck among their friends. If we can build a society that works like that, that'll be something worth nurturing and protecting.
So you wish for people to form real bonds and do away with the hierarchy outright? To deal with one another as humans, and nothing more? That's the ideal future you hope to see when this is all over?
Yes, I do. I think it would make for a fine tribute to my brother's legacy. Though, that said, I would be doing it for the people of the future first and foremost. Do you still plan to return to Lenegis when this is over?
Indeed I do. I don't know whether I'll be able to reside in Lenegis proper, however. My first order of business may be to find somewhere to live.
You'll always have a home in Menancia, you know.
As I shall ever keep in mind.
Well, if you ever need a helping hand, don't hesitate to come get me. I'll always be there for you, Doe.
Did you just... Never mind. Thank you, Kisara. I appreciate your patience as I work all this out.
Don't even mention it. And really, when you think about it, now that we know the two of us aren't so different after all, don't you think that brings down a barrier that used to be between us?
You know, I hadn't actually thought of it that way before. But I do like the sound of it.
Yeah, I think I do too.
Hey, why'd you call me here? Was there something you wanted to talk about?
Well, if everything we've heard about the Great Spirit is true, then we're getting close to our final battle. So I wanted to apologize while I can.
Apologize? For what?
I was being real stupid before, about whether Dana's will had been controlling us and all that. I get why you're angry now. Anybody would be if something they trusted was being questioned. So, I'm sorry, Rinwell. Really. I should have kept my mouth shut.
No, Law. Honestly, I think you might have been onto something. Of course you were worried. Who wouldn't be if they found out there might be some invisible force pulling our strings this whole time?
But you really trust Dana's will, don't you? Is it because you can sense it a lot more than the rest of us? Because you can understand it?
Yeah, I think that might be part of it. But I think I also want to believe it's good.
Believe?
Remember how I used to really resent coming from a family of mages?
Yeah, of course. Because you were always on the run and had to live in hiding.
When we rescued Zephyr and I finally decided to come along with you all, something changed inside me. It was the first time I felt like my powers had any meaning, even if that meaning was only helping you guys fight. Then, when I felt Dana's will, I was overwhelmed by how vast and warm it was. It made me want to believe my powers were made to connect with it. It made me believe I had a bigger purpose.
So that's why you hope it doesn't turn out to be bad. You almost need it to be kind.
Yeah.
Well, alright. Then I promise I'll lay off bad-mouthing it.
You will?
There's no way for me to know for sure one way or the other, right? But you trust it, Rinwell, and that's enough for me. So I'll trust it because you do.
Remember what I said about neither planet's great spirit reaching us here?
Yeah?
That's not quite true. I can feel just a little bit of Rena's inside you and everyone else.
You... what?
I sensed it when we first got here. It's a really small amount, so it doesn't feel like it has a will of its own. But I think that's how Dana's energy probably is too.
So you're saying there's a little bit of Dana's will inside each of us? In a way, doesn't that mean we're all Dana's will?
What?
Well, like you said, unless Dana's energy comes together, it has no will. So if we all have a little bit of Dana's astral energy inside us...
Yeah, maybe...
Everett 35 might know the answer. But, you know what? I don't need to ask it. My will is my own. I fight for who I want to fight for. That's who I am now. Who I've become. So thanks, Rinwell, for sharing that with me.
Ah.
To be honest, the only reason I was suspicious of Dana's will, well, I mean, it mostly was... I feel like you and I had grown apart lately, and I was worried it was because...
Huh?
Never mind. Nothing. Just forget about it.
Huh? No, what were you saying?
Saying? I don't remember
Come
saying
on.
anything.
Now you won't tell me what you were thinking?
No, that's not what I'm saying.
Then spit it out already.
You sure you don't want to get some rest?
I can't. I've got too much on my mind. Especially knowing how close our last battle is. How are you doing, Xion?
Same as you, still trying to absorb everything.
Remember when it was so simple? We were only fighting all the lords on Dana? All of that feels like a lifetime ago, doesn't it?
Ages and ages ago. Everything that's happened since we first met. So many fights, so much chaos. So many wonderful people.
If I hadn't run into you that day, well, I wouldn't have met all of you. I never would have held the blazing sword or looked for something more. I wouldn't have my memories back. I'd still be a faceless slave, like as not long dead.
Hey, Alphen. I want you to promise me something.
Yeah?
If we can't find the Renis Alma, there's something I want you to do. Like Hevrect35 said, the only way we can end the Great Spirit for good is to go after both the main body in Rena and the thorns in me. I need you to promise me, Alphen, that if for some reason we can't get the Renis Alma back, you'll use the blazing sword to destroy the Great Spirit, and me along with it.
Huh?
It's true the blazing sword may not have the strength of the Renis Alma. But it's taken us this far. It's slain lords and beasts. At the very least, it has to be worth a try.
You can't be serious. Have you forgotten everything
Listen,
that we...
the Great Spirit isn't just our problem. It's a threat to our entire world. Renans and Danans alike. We don't know what's going to happen when we face it, but we need to be prepared for anything. We can't second-guess ourselves when the time comes. I promise you, I'm not planning on going anywhere. I'm prepared to fight with absolutely everything I've got. But if it comes down to it, I need you to be prepared too.
Okay. But you should know that I'm not going to give up on you, Shion. I'm going to fight this until the very end. I hope you can forgive me for that.
Alphen. Okay, I understand. And I'll forgive you.
Thank you, Shion.
So it's a promise then?
Yeah, it's a promise.
I remember how I felt the first time you touched me. My thorns made any contact a mistake no one would ever make twice. After they'd seen what could happen, fear would always linger behind their eyes. In my entire life, I never had someone willingly reach out to me. But when you reached out to me and gently took my hand, you didn't react at all. It was so easy for you. I don't have words for the shock I felt in that moment.
That's because I couldn't feel pain back then.
Even once you could, though, you still chose to keep reaching out to me. And when you did, I felt this warmth that I had never known before. But still, I hate having to see you suffer through it every time you do.
You won't have to worry about that for much longer.
You think so?
I do, because Shion,
No. You can tell me once my thorns are gone. Okay?
Yeah. Okay. Everybody get enough rest? We ready for this?
Yeah, we should probably get moving.
Agreed. Can't stand around waiting all day.
Our task is relatively straightforward. We need only descend down to Rena, defeat the Great Spirit, and restore stability to both worlds.
We're fighting for a new future for both Dana and Rena.
Right. We've come this far. We will save our worlds. That's a promise.
Then let's go, everybody. We've got one last wall to tear down.
Repairs on your starship are complete. Everything is in working order.
Is that you, Hevrek-35? You can see us from where you are?
I can. I can see anywhere within the bounds of Dake Phasal.
Sounds like someone's a peeping Tom.
Maybe we should give Hevrek-35 a break. It has been stuck in this tiny facility for a very, very long time.
I have unlocked all functions on your starship. You can now make use of its warp drive.
Warp drive? Wait, you mean like what the Red Women used on us? What brought us here?
It's possible that the Red Women may have found a way to activate it on the starship. They are Helganquil, after all.
Using the warp drive, you should be able to breach Rena's atmosphere without being detected.
Wait, should?
You'll need to be careful. Due to the force field surrounding Rena, the ship will be unable to go any further than the surface of the planet.
So, once we reach the shell, it appears we'll have to infiltrate the core by foot. Understood.
We gotta go all the way down just walking?
Will all the Helganquil go back to normal once we defeat the Great Spirit? I have a strange feeling we're going to have to fight them before this is all over.
The extinction of my people is inevitable at this stage. As such, it would be illogical to risk the success of the mission in a vain attempt to save my kind.
We understand.
Can't that thing lighten up a bit? Everything it says seems to be about what's illogical.
Well, come on, Doe.
Hold up, did you just...
You heard the lady. Get going.
I have one last question.
What?
As Sovereign, your identification number indicates that you are well past your predicted life expectancy. Similarly, the Maiden lacks any identification number, as her function should have been rendered unnecessary. Despite this, the two of you continue to exist. Why?
We exist because others have entrusted this to us. Over the years, many people have come together and sworn to see this through to the end.
You mean it is because of multiple chance interactions? The likelihood of such events is statistically improbable. Why have you two continued to persist under these conditions?
It's hard to explain. To be honest, I don't think it's something an observer could understand. All right, time to get back on the Fall Knights.
It would appear that our Helganquil host really has fulfilled its end of the bargain.
You know what that means. Time to go to Rena.
I guess this means we should give that warp drive a spin.
There's nothing here. This weird ocean we're surrounded by just stretches out everywhere. Is this really where the Helganquil come from?
I don't sense even a trace of astral energy. This world is dead.
Then this must be the hollowing.
You mean to tell me this whole world, the entire ocean is that stuff?
And it's covering everything. The entire planet.
This is what the Great Spirit does. After it depleted this planet of every last speck of astral energy, it went after Dana.
So arresting. This world of doom.
Back in its day, Rena was probably just as vibrant as Dana is. But after being robbed of its astral energy for so long, those days are gone and past. This is all that will remain.
So the Great Spirit took everything. It stole energy not just from living beings, but the land, the sea, everything.
And it bound the Helganquil in servitude, until their whole world was nothing but this. And by the looks of it, that's how it remains to this day. A world of death and emptiness.
With nothing left here to consume, the Great Spirit turned its sights on Dana, looking for another host.
You're saying if we don't stop it, this is what Dana's going to look like?
We can be sure that even these few remaining remnants of Renan life will not be spared in the end.
If the oblivion and darkness both Shion and Naori saw comes to pass, nothing will survive. It looks like we can climb down from there. Let's take a look.
So this is Rena. This is where everything began. Yet it's a dead world?
I won't let Dana suffer the same fate. Ever.
A hollowed ocean as far as the eye can see. What do you think would happen if we fell in?
What do you mean, what would happen? You'd drown, wouldn't you?
Come to think of it, I don't believe I've heard of someone ever trying. Perhaps you'd like the glory of being the first?
Nah, I'll pass.
This is essentially a world-sized Renan graveyard. Are you proposing to disturb the dead slumber just to satisfy your curiosity, Lal?
No, because I said I passed.
Taking an interest is understandable, but let's not forget where we are. This place deserves our respect.
Looks like we're not going to be hearing the end of this one for a while.
You'd think I was already snorkeling in it or something. So the idea is to seal the Great Spirit inside the Renas Alma using the Sovereign and Maiden's power. But just how do we do that exactly?
I'm guessing it won't be as easy as holding a spirit channeling ceremony at our leisure.
I already had wielded astral energy once 3 centuries ago. As for suppressing her thorns, Shion's had a lifetime's experience. The problem isn't just our enemy's strength. It's that it's sentient, too. And you can bet anything you like it's not going to just sit back and let us destroy it.
In other words, we need to find some way to weaken it in advance. The Great Spirit, that is.
Back when Shion's thorns flew out of control, we were able to deal with them directly. If this is their host, they should be even more corporeal here.
If that's the case, it should make them easier to attack at least. And if we can manage to divert enough energy away from the spirit's core, even temporarily,
We might just be able to weaken it enough to steal the Renis Alma, which we can then use to seal it away forever. It won't be easy, but it's our only shot. Time to buckle up. Question for you. Let's say, knock on wood, everything turns out for the best.
What'll the world be like? Is that what you're asking?
Yeah, I mean, at the end of this, do you really think everything will be that different?
A lot will have to change, that's for sure. The world will have to adjust to so much. My only worry is if those changes turn out to be merely skin deep.
what do you mean?
It's well and good putting an end to Renin rule. But if it just turns the tables, it's all for naught.
That's true. Just as bad if the Danans started pressing their own.
Renins, Danans, astral art users, mages. The world is full of labels used to divide and separate people.
If only we could see differences like that for what they are. No different to someone having a musical talent or being good with their hands. Not differences so much as characteristics.
It will take someone in power to set an example. But with time, people will follow. And then, perhaps one day...
There will no longer be any need for the example. It will have become second nature.
That's where we come in. We can set the example. Imagine it. A world where magic and astral arts are used to help people. Where that's the norm rather than the exception.
Yeah, you're right, Rinwell. Why wait for somebody else? We can show them ourselves.
I wonder what Helganquil civilization was like at its zenith.
I can imagine that'd be something you'd take an interest in.
There's no question it must have been advanced, like none either world has ever seen. We could surely stand to learn a thing or two from such a people.
I get that you're itching to delve into its history, but we've got bigger fish to fry right now.
Put a pin in it, and you can do all the research you want when you retire.
I can think of worse things than a retirement dedicated to research. As for whether Rena is amenable to an aging specimen...
It's a little early to be giving it serious thought just yet.
A man can dream, though. A man can dream.
Oh, we didn't say there's anything wrong with dreaming.
In your case, Dohalim, dreams have a habit of spiraling into something else.
You'll need to stay with us for now, though. You're too helpful to let retire.
Why do I feel this is less of a compliment and more of an ultimatum?
Just a friendly suggestion.
Finally. If only we could have flown with the wind to get here faster. Hey! Hey, I just realized something!
Is this about dinner last night? I didn't realize those ingredients were off.
What? No! I mean, wait, you fed us rotten food?
Rinwell, the point.
Oh, yeah, right. So I was thinking about those armored soldiers we've seen. There are regular Renans inside them, right?
Yeah, they're designed to make whoever's wearing them stronger. At least, I think that's the idea.
Right. So it kind of begs the question then, why are they made so huge?
I don't know, makes them more intimidating, I guess? Or maybe all that tech wizardry inside takes up a lot of space.
You don't think it's weird how the armored soldiers are the exact same height as the Helganquil?
Can't say I'd ever noticed it till now. And?
Connect the dots, Law!
Okay, let me get this straight. You think the armored suits might have originally been designed to allow Renans to work alongside the Helganquil?
Huh. But if that's true, what would that mean?
It would mean... just that, I guess. But still, don't you think it's kind of interesting?
Not hugely. Hey, Kisara, while I've got you, what's on tonight's menu? Because I was thinking, maybe meat?
Get him, Hootle.
What did I do?
Oh, now you want to listen. Keep pecking, Hootle!
Ow! Seriously, what the hell? You know, guys, when you think about it, we've taken out a lot of Zeugles. Like, a whole lot.
You can say that again. If one thing's for certain in this world, it's that wherever we go, we'll always end up bumping into them.
Isn't it weird that they're still so plentiful? You don't think the Renans have, like, a ranch where they breed them, do you?
Certainly in all of my years, I've never heard of them constructing such a massive facility on Dana, let alone up in Lenegis.
The only thing I can think of, then, is that the feral ones must be reproducing on their own.
There's also no organized effort on our part to hunt them down, so it's difficult to fully exterminate them.
Exterminate them? Whoa, don't you think that's maybe a little harsh?
What do you mean?
Zeugles originally used to be living creatures native to Dana and Rena, right? Being genetically modified isn't their fault.
You're right. Zeugles were only created because of us Renans. We altered the original creatures to suit our own ends.
First, people made Zeugles, and then we let them go. And now we're trying to kill them because they're a threat. They really have only seen the very worst, huh?
I hope we find a way to be able to live side by side with them one day.
It's a nice thought, but they attack towns and cities. What else are we supposed to do?
Aside from the strays that have gone wild, it's worth remembering that Renans are able to keep them somewhat under control.
If we had distinct territories that didn't overlap, that might reduce the danger they pose.
Well, I guess when you look at it that way, maybe people and Zeugles aren't so different after all.
Yes.
Excuse me!
Hey!
Really now?
What?
I see. Agreed.
Very nice.
Dohalim? The line of researchers is getting longer.
Perhaps I should have put more thought into this before accepting.
Hey, Alphen, what do you think of that chick over there?
Doesn't look like she really works out.
I'm not talking about her muscles, you dummy!
We've reached our destination.
Right!
Sax-Leo Temple. Isn't that where Shion was being held?
Shh. Wasn't it beautiful? I can't wait for this.
Hey, Law. Been training?
Yeah, I guess I got a little carried away. You think this is bad, you should see the state of my underwear.
Yeah. A word of advice. You might want to refrain from mentioning that stuff around girls. Ones without a military history especially.
Man, can you imagine Rinwell's face? She'd have a nervous breakdown.
I meant in general, but... You sure mention her a lot, you know.
Huh? Oh, you know, she's always there, even when you least expect it. Springs to mind easily.
Either that, or maybe some part of you is subconsciously always wishing she was there.
May the trials and tribulations of young romance never change.
Romance? Like I'd be interested in that know-it-all tomboy. I'm more about mature women. Someone more like Kisara.
You know, I used to be a tomboy too when I was Rinwell's age.
Look, it's not tomboys I have anything against. But come on, you've got to admit she can be a lot to handle.
Hey, I miss anything? What's all the fuss about?
Rinwell.
Thunderblade!
Ah! What the hell was that for?
A little birdie told me you were speaking about me behind my back. Whew!
From the looks of it, I'd say you've got yourself a rival.
It wouldn't be called the Spring of Youth without a little storm every now and then.
Hey, Shion. How are you and Alphen getting on these days?
That's a little out of the blue. Why do you ask?
Sorry, it's just... I don't know, I'm just curious, I guess. I mean, a lot's changed now he's got his senses back and all.
I suppose you're right. Well, to tell you the truth, if he'd been the way he is now back when I'd first met him, I probably wouldn't have gotten this involved. But then, if we hadn't met like we did, then I never would have experienced these feelings, so... I guess it's complicated.
I can imagine. I know it's not the same thing, but... I know what it feels like to have someone you love who's out of reach.
Because of Miguel.
Alphen's still alive. It's not too late, you know. And after all, who can say what the future holds? I think if I were you, I'd take things as they come for now.
Besides, touch isn't everything. I've never touched you, Xion, but that doesn't stop you from knowing that I care about you, right?
That's true. But I do remember back when we first met, you made it plenty clear you weren't my biggest fan.
But that was a long time ago. There were lots of things I didn't understand back then. Not that that's the point.
Don't worry, I'm only teasing. I know what you mean. Thank you. And you're right. There are ways to convey your feelings besides just touching.
I'll say, cooking immediately springs to mind. And if it's someone's favorite dish, all the better. If there's something on your mind that you want to tell him, why not try appealing directly to his stomach?
You might just have a point. I'll give it a shot.
Uh-oh. If it's Alphen's palate you're appealing to, that doesn't bode well for the rest of us.
Well, friendship is about being supportive. Sometimes we just have to do our best and take one for the team, right?
Even after staying here, we never truly got to the bottom of what makes this realm's citizens tick.
Renan and Danon are meaningless distinctions here. To have one's own mind is strictly forbidden. All that matters is blind obedience.
That might be the case now, but it can't always have been like that. There must have been something more.
Once, maybe. Question is that something still salvageable?
If it's not, we'll just have to make something new. No, not we. They've had enough foisted on them as it is.
You're right. It's time the people here had the chance to forge their own path. That's not to say it'll be easy, but it will be worthwhile.
These things take time to... What the... An ambush?
Sorry. Sorry. There was a huge flying bug and I sort of shot without thinking.
A bug? You mean like a Zoogle?
Something tells me she would have shot it, whether it was a Zoogle or not.
This realm is teeming with humid forests. It's only natural insects would feel more at home here than Menancia. In fact, I seem to recall reading somewhere that bugs around these parts lay their eggs in human food to ensure healthy incubation.
Sounds like they're tougher than they look.
What about you, Alphen? Bugs don't creep you out?
I wouldn't say I was their #1 fan. Mind you, if times get desperate enough, I've been known to eat them.
Insects as a culinary option, you say? What kind of seasoning are we talking?
Dohalim, I don't think he was talking about cooking them.
Hey, a lizard! I never thought about this until now, Alphen, but doesn't it get hot wearing that armor all the time? You feel heat and cold again, don't you?
Admittedly, yeah. It can get pretty toasty in this thing.
Is it hard when your back starts to itch?
Oh, you bet. Plus, my shoulders get stiff wearing it, even if it's not all that heavy.
Kisara looks like she manages all right with her armor.
Armor takes a strong body and a stout heart.
Spoken like a true guardsman. Not that I really get what you mean.
The more I think about it, the more I realize what a pain it must be. Like, what do you do when you need to take a leak?
Ew!
That part can be a bit of a pain, yeah. More things to take off.
That sucks, man. Wouldn't it be easier if you just walked around outside of your armor most of the time instead?
You never know when the enemy might attack. As tempting as it might be to take it off, it's not worth getting killed over.
So basically, you're screwed if you ever get attacked while taking a dump. Right, Rinwell?
Are you doing this on purpose?
Just great.
Cheers!
Cheers! What? Nice try, you two. That
Never.
Wait. Something's wrong.
I couldn't catch it. I'll always be alone. How could I... Oh, please. I'm so lonely.
Oh no. This is just like what happened before. Alphen!
I'm alone. I'm all alone.
What can I do to get her to snap out of it? There aren't any thorns this time. I've got it!
Alvin?
Shion, you're not alone. You've got all of us. And it wasn't just one bouquet either. There's also this one from me. So please, don't give up. We'll fight this together. Shion!
You dummy! That's not what I was upset about. How many times do I need to tell you not to blindly rush into things? That said, it does make me feel better. Even if your bouquet is just a weapon named after one.
I'm just glad I could help. And I made another one to go with it, so it wouldn't be lonely either.
You never cease to amaze me, Alphen. Seriously.
Feeling better now, Shion?
I'm sorry I lost my cool like that.
Don't worry. It's not like I have any room for criticism.
Being a grown-up isn't easy, is it?
We finally made it.
I never realized before just how hot this place is. It's like being inside a fire.
You're only just noticing? Ah, yes, forgive me. The whole lack of sensory feedback situation.
That's the one. It's hard to believe I once worked in this soup, let alone helped spearhead a revolution.
And all with the mask concealing your face. It must have been very grimy beneath that.
Back then, we had our plates full enough dealing with constant abuse from our Renin overlords. It never occurred to me the air itself was oppressive in its own way. My head's spinning just with the effort it takes to walk.
I think that's called heat stroke. You might want to take a sip of water.
You mean that water that's been festering under the sun for days? I wouldn't chance it without boiling it first.
Oh, I know! I'll go to the dock and fetch us some clean water.
Water alone won't suffice. He'll need to ensure his sodium levels are replenished as well.
In that case, let's see if we can rustle up some rock salt. Alphen, you go cool off in the shade for a while. Shion, stay and keep an eye on him.
And then there were two.
Bit of an overreaction, but it's still kind of them.
Maybe it's not the time, but this place brings back memories.
I know what you mean. We're back where it all started.
You don't ever regret meeting me sometimes, do you?
Are you kidding? You started all of this. Bringing down the wall, retrieving my sense of self. I have no regrets.
Welcome back, Law.
Hey.
Yes.
Just great.
How's this?
Got it.
Hey! Yay!
All right.
How's this?
That was quite the little adventure we went on.
I think there's someone in trouble here.
Well, let's see what they have to say.
Hey, she's pretty cute.
Who are you looking at? Quit gawking and let's go.
Ow!
Yeah!
Hey.
Yeah!
Just great.
I guess... Thanks.
Huh?
Well... All right.
All right.
I guess. Got it.
something.
Doing some thinking?
Nah. It just occurred to me that our journey's been going for a while now.
Is it a wonder to you our group has held together this long?
Maybe. We've got Danins, Renans, a lord, a mage, and even a guy from another time. Yet here we all are, leaning on each other as travel companions. It's like a minor miracle.
If anything, I'd say it's proof. Proof that as long as we accept each other for who we are, we can all get along.
And with understanding comes togetherness. Yeah, we are more than enough evidence of that.
I've always had a thorny relationship with others. Quite literally, as it happens. I figured that it was easier to give up on intimacy, rather than having to go through all of the pain of rejection. I mean, is it any wonder I grew thorns around my heart, too?
But now...
Right. Now, I still have my thorns, of course. But they don't cover my heart. I know now that there is more than one way for people to relate to one another. It was you and everyone else here that taught me that. Everyone that you brought together, Alphen.
It wasn't just me. I mean, sure, I invited a few folks to join us, but... swordsmanship's about all I have to offer. Everyone's taught and supported me just as much as I have them.
You see? That's what I'm talking about.
What do you mean?
I mean, you're fine just as you are. The bonds that you form with others, they shine more brightly because they're mutual. It's not just one bond for you. It's many, each with a heart of its own. That's what makes them special. Why are you staring at me?
I could ask the same thing.
So this is how the Sovereign and Maiden are supposed to look. You two go great together.
Law, come stand between us.
Oh, sure. You want me to put something white on as well?
Of course she doesn't.
Take a closer look, Shion. It's a miracle.
What are you talking about?
This outfit, it's already got blue accents on it.
So I see.
I love how much amazing food we get to eat even when we're out on the road.
Me too, especially compared to what I used to have when I was still a slave. This is paradise.
It's amazing what good food can do to keep your hopes up. Nagal used to say all the time that the power of food is subtle, yet profound.
Yeah, ain't that the truth? For whatever reason, I find I don't worry nearly as much when I've got a full stomach helping me out.
That's why you shouldn't be such a picky eater.
Huh?
She's right. You always leave food that you don't like on your plate when you're done.
Come on, what's the big deal?
Back in the day, I couldn't think about leaving any food. It was such a waste not to eat at all. You needed every last scrap of energy.
Exactly. Even when my brother and I didn't have much to eat, we all did what we could to make it taste good and enjoy what we had.
That definitely explains a lot about why you cook the way you do, Kisara.
Dohalim, I bet you don't know what any of that's like. You must be used to food being handed to you on a silver platter.
Sometimes it was gold.
You didn't shy away from that at all.
Although, there was one experience that does come to mind.
Oh?
When I first learned that the food I ate originally came from animals and fish, I was rather taken aback.
You just ate whatever was in front of you without even thinking about it?
That's a silver-spooned elite for you.
Your cooking has really improved, Shion.
It's because of you that I understand what makes it so fun. I'm glad everyone seems to enjoy what I make, too.
I've noticed a disturbing trend that after it's your turn to cook, our ingredients tend to run really low. What's up with that?
That is a good point, Law. There's a weird difference between the amount of ingredients she prepares and how much food actually gets served. Curious. Very curious indeed.
I don't know. Isn't it pretty normal for veggies to shrink a little when you fry them up?
Or maybe she eats all the bad batches herself so we won't notice.
Come on, I wouldn't do anything like that.
Then how would you explain the difference?
Ahem. I have a theory that I wish to propose.
What is it?
As we all know, Shion here can have quite the appetite. I imagine she often taste tests her own food as she prepares it. By my eye, it would appear that her footprints are leaving deeper impressions as of late. Far be it from me to level such an accusation, but the facts lead me to conclude that...
She's been snacking while she cooks.
And yet, she still looks so slender in her clothing.
Yeah, I'm kind of envious, actually.
Wait a sec, are you guys trying to say she's...
I'm what?
Nothing?
Nothing.
Hey, Alphen, why do you like spicy food so much anyway?
You know, I haven't thought about that before. Maybe because when I couldn't feel pain, it gave me that kick I was craving.
But now that you can feel pain again, wouldn't your tastes have changed?
Did you like spicy food when you were younger?
Not as much as I do now. At some point, it just became something almost like an addiction, I guess.
I can most certainly relate. Once you've had your fill of ordinary food, you cannot help but seek out more unusual fare.
I don't think that's got anything to do with Alphen's tastes. Although I won't deny that you definitely have a thing for exotic food. The stranger the better.
I just wish I could have gotten you into sweets like me, Alphen.
I like food that's dense and keeps you feeling full myself. It helps you last longer when you're on the move.
We all know you're a quantity over quality kind of...
What was that?
Nothing. I lost my train of thought.
You know, I've also noticed Shion's not really into the same kind of food most Renans are. Could be it's got something to do with the way she grew up.
That's so me! Even when I was little, I was all about food that gives me strength. All meat, all the time!
And I guess Kisara is so good at cooking fish because she can catch them herself.
I'm only good with fish because it used to be the easiest thing to get. When you work with something long enough, it comes naturally to you.
I like fish just fine, but what I really like about your cooking is how it tastes homemade. It reminds me of what my mom used to make.
Really? You know, I used to cook a lot of meals for younger kids, and they said the same thing.
When you get down to it, I guess the things a person cooks and the foods they like say a lot about the way they've lived.
This came out so good. I almost hate having to eat it.
Rinwell, mind if we chat a little? I'm surprised to see you up reading so late. What have you got there?
Oh, it's a book about magic. I was hoping I'd reach the end of this chapter before I went to bed.
I'm impressed you can read all that tiny text without drifting off.
It's easy. Honestly, the subject is so interesting, it keeps me wide awake. Although I have to admit, the more I read this book, the more I realize just how much I still have to learn. I hate not knowing it all, so it pushes me to keep learning as much as I can so I can be a real expert.
So that's why you're studying by the campfire every night, huh? You've really changed, Rinwell.
Really? I don't feel like it.
Remember how you used to be when we first met in Calaglia?
Sure, but that's because I was still hiding a lot from you guys. Am I really all that different aside from that?
Definitely. It's the difference between a rock and the sun.
Are you saying I used to be like a rock? That's not something you should use to describe a girl, Alphen.
My bad. But the comparison is still apt. You used to not be open with us about your magic at all. And now look at you.
Well, I guess you may have a point. I used to hate studying magic because my parents made me do it. And after everything that happened, I felt like it brought nothing but trouble. But now, I don't think it's so bad after all. Maybe I really have changed more than I thought. All magic is simply astral energy combined with knowledge. It's neither good nor bad by itself. It all depends on how you use it. Saying it out loud, I guess I finally made peace with it.
I think you have Law to thank for that.
What? Why him?
I mean, he was kind of the one who...
Nope, he's got nothing to do with it. None. Zilch. Nada. Nothing.
If Law heard that, he'd be pretty bummed, you know.
You're crazy. I don't see why he would be.
Are you saying you rather he wouldn't be? I'd say the fact you can get so worked up about things now is another sign you've changed.
Sounds like someone wants me to put on a little magic show.
All right, all right. I'll take my leave before I say anything else that might get me into trouble. Just make sure you aren't staying up too late, okay?
Ugh, I'm not a little kid anymore. Yeesh. Though actually, it felt kind of nice hearing that. I wonder why. Ooh. Night, everyone. Thanks to you, I was able to rest easy. Between heaven and earth.
Get behind me!
A whirling
You really don't need my help.
Nonsense. Who else will cook and clean for me? Well then, I should probably think about tonight's menu.
Is this the barrier that's keeping the Zugolin that Nath mentioned?
Looks like it. Our Zoogle pal should be on the other side.
This barrier is weird. It looks old and half-finished. Plus, he said it was okay to break.
I mean, we won't need it anymore once the Zoogle's gone, right? So what does it matter? Did they really think that barrier was enough for a Zoogle like that?
It was. That thing was sturdier than you give it credit for.
Really? So that's the Zoogle, huh? This should be a piece of cake.
Don't get careless, Law.
I'd steer clear of that Zoogle if I were you.
Damn. That weak, huh?
Brace yourself! This one's tough!
Armor won't save you!
Take the hurricane! You picked the wrong fight! Aim for the weak spot!
Shooting star! Far beyond the dark!
Attack us!
Swallow blade!
Armor won't save you!
Shooting star!
Hurricane strike!
Shooting star!
Tornado!
Shooting star!
It doesn't!
That'll bring you down, Maelstrom!
Prepare to be sealed! Take this! The picture of hell!
Shooting star!
Prepare!
Inferno cluster! Shooting star!
Anything in armor is all mine!
Demon Fang!
Shooting star!
I'll let you all down.
Don't mind if I do. Shooting star!
Rising Wyvern!
Now or never.
All just
Can't get out of this!
Maelstrom! Far beyond the darkest skies, I call upon thee! Shooting star!
Here we go again!
Far beyond the darkest skies! Shooting star! Barbie, you get the... Shooting star!
The enemy wields arts too.
You'll soon see about that! I never miss! Far beyond the darkest
Armor won't
skies,
save
I
you!
call upon
I'm sorry to
thee!
be a bother.
We've all got enough on our plate.
Yes, ma'am!
Far beyond the darkest skies, I call upon thee! Far beyond the darkest skies, I call...
Train harder.
Shooting! Hold on to your arm. Here I come! Shooting star! Don't mind if I do. Blah, blah, blah. Shooting star! Barb, you get the gist.
Attack time!
Shooting star! Barb, blah, blah, blah.
Now, while it's reeling!
Take it down! Barb,
The earth throbs in pain.
Barbie, blah, blah, blah. Shooting star! Close one.
Not today!
Ready to go! Barb, you get the gist. Freeze Lancer! Shooting star! Barb, you get the gist. Shooting star! Flame! Reload! Barbie, blah, blah, blah. Here! Finish without not in your dreams! Close one!
Finish it!
Xion! Astral energy! Full throttle! Barbie on the darkest sky!
Armor won't save you!
Shooting star! Barbie! Blah, blah, blah! Magic!
Blending flash!
Shooting That'll bring you down! Close one!
In a bind? Beat this has got... Hey, you okay? I can still do this!
Shooting star! Barb, you get the gist! Shooting star! The enemy is going
No
all out!
armor can stop me!
Remind me to stay on your good side.
Barb,
Thanks,
you get
Xion.
the gist!
Be careful not to overdo it.
Barb,
I'm
you
sorry.
get the arts
Do
required.
better.
Please focus.
No escape!
Now you see what I can do!
Darkest sky. Ow!
Rising Wyvern!
Pull myself together.
Light spear!
Here goes!
Shockwave flash!
Far beyond the darkest skies! Magic!
I can handle it.
I'm sorry.
Oh, you are gonna pay for that!
Not today!
Talon Storm! Denied!
Take this!
That's gonna smart.
Take this!
Shooting Star! Magic Kazam!
Sonic Thrust! Take this!
Take this!
Fear! You get the gist. Divine Savior!
Now you see what I can do!
Blah, blah, blah. Divine Savior! You get the gist. Divine Savior! I'll bring you down. Blah, blah, blah. Divine Savior! Barbie! Blah, blah.
Prepare to be sealed!
I'll bring you back from death to bit. Barb, you get the gist. Shooting Star! The close one. Barbie, blah, blah, blah. Shooting Star! Barbie, blah, blah, blah. Healing Shooting Star!
I don't know what I do without you.
Perhaps now isn't the time?
I really
That
don't.
no!
Here comes a big one!
You require a hand.
Devastation!
Glacial Spear! Pierce evil! Barbie on the Dark Ether! Not a dream! Blah, 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 magic! Blah, blah, blah.
Burn!
Shooting Star! Barb, you get the gist. Take care of... Burning Strike!
Stay away from my friends!
From Death's Abyss!
Demon Fang!
Eat this!
Rising Wiper!
Over with my arm!
Rising Falcon!
That's gonna smart on it!
Demon Fang! I'll burn it all! Flaming Pillar! Fire!
Barbie on the darkest sky! I call upon thee! Another one's mine! There you go! Barbie, blah, 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 magic! Leave the charges to me!
Demon Fang! Prepare to be sealed! Can't end here!
Amazing! Not long to go now.
We couldn't have done
Barbie
it
on the
without you,
darkest
Renee.
skies. Thanks! Come on! Let's you and me get in there and finish this fight! Barbie, blah, 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 magic! Barbie on the darkest sky! I call just what the doctor ordered! The enemy is going all out! Try to dodge! Barbie on the...
You require a hand.
Take this!
Shooting Star!
Eternal devastation!
Take care of... Poodle.
Ready and ready! Double Demon Fang! Eat this! Eat this!
I still got some fight left in me.
Sonic Thrust!
Better if you don't sit up.
Demon Fang!
So much for sitting this fight out.
That wouldn't be a complaint, I hear.
Nope, that'd be silly.
Shooting Star!
Frickin' does it!
Shooting Star! If it's in the sky, it's on!
Demon Fang!
Shooting Star! A chain between heaven and earth. Burning Strike! Glacial Spear. Pierce evil. A chain between heaven and earth. Magic Kazam! Divine Savior! Here, let me help.
I'm gonna need more of that.
First aid! A chain between heaven and earth. Blah, 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 magic! Divine Savior! You get the gist.
Can't move!
Attack time! Divine Savior! Blah, blah, blah. Divine Savior!
Prepare to be sealed! You can't get out of this!
Nothing gets by me.
Take care of... Poodle.
Double Demon Fang!
Just what the doctor ordered. Far enough!
First strike! Never win!
They're not playing around.
I'm on a roll now! Phoenix! Whirlwind Snap! It's gonna attack!
Right, one out.
Now, hit the glue! Prepare to be sealed!
Here, let me help.
Take this!
Take care of...
Hear me! Flame of fury! Burning strike! Water!
Hear
my call!
Lunarongo! Rival Phoenix! Talon Storm! Shattering
Can't be happening!
Stay away from my friend! Double Demon Fang! Eagle Crush!
Lost in pain.
Ready to go!
Rising Wyvern!
Here, let me help!
Escape!
Nothing gets by me!
This isn't looking good!
Water!
I
hear
can
my
carve
call!
through armor!
Spread!
Double
Do it!
Demon Fang!
Get toasty!
Burn strike!
Huh? What's a letter doing in a place like this?
Hell if I know. I highly doubt that Zoogle was trying to guard it. Still, somebody must have left it for some... Law.
Huh? What's up?
Something up?
It's from my old man. My dear son, I wonder how things will be between us by the time you read this.
In any case, I first want to congratulate you on all that you've accomplished. Making it this far requires a strong body, fine technique, an unwavering spirit, and most of all, friends that you can count on. If you have all of that, then I, as your father, have nothing to worry about. Those things together will always keep you on the right path. That brings me to what I really wish to discuss with you. As with all of us, there will someday come a time when you'll be a grown man who can and must think and act for himself. Whether you'll live in a world where blood will no longer be spilled between Danins and Renins, or when that day arrives, nobody can say. But even if peace still eludes us then, you'll have to decide how to live in this world. Listen to others with an open heart, but don't be swept away by their words. Always live on your terms. One more thing. If I ever see you again, I hope to say this to you in person, but neither of us knows what tomorrow may bring. Know this. Whatever you think of me, what I've done, your mother and I love you very, very much.
And there's nothing in this whole world that will ever change that. Your father, Zephyr.
Zephyr.
I can't believe he's only telling me all this after he's gone. What am I supposed to do with this?
Zephyr once told me that living freely meant being your own master. I think he wanted to make sure you know how he felt one way or another. What you do with that knowledge is up to you.
But that still doesn't explain why his father left that letter for him here, of all places.
Don't forget, we were led to this place. We may well get some answers if we go back to the source of all this.
Finally. If only we could have flown with the wind to get here faster.
Looks like we get to sleep with a roof over our heads.
This looks perfect. Guaranteed to hit the spot.
Hey.
Hey. I guess... No way. Damn. Whew. All right.
This is...
Thanks.
You okay, Law? You seem kind of quiet.
I'm fine. Just feels a little weird returning home now that my dad's not here, I guess. Oh man, sorry. I didn't mean to bum you out too.
So I guess that means you'll be visiting your dad's grave while you're here. Right, Law?
His grave? What are you, nuts? There is no grave. The Rena would only destroy it the moment they found it.
Back before Calaglia was liberated, dead slaves would be dumped in mass burial sites. Either that or thrown on top of a bonfire. We got used to cremating our own to deny them the pleasure. Then we'd sprinkle the ashes from high up as a way of returning them to the motherland.
It's all we could do. That's the ceremony we had when my mom died, too.
But that was back then, right? Calaglia is liberated now. There's nothing to stop you from raising a true grave anymore.
I suppose you've got a point. Once you've been doing something for generations, though, it sort of begins to take root. It's a tradition of its own now.
My dad wouldn't want that anyway. Cheap and simple, he'd say. Besides, I can't treat him differently than my mom. They might not end up meeting on the other side.
I hadn't thought of it like that. Wow, imagine. The two of them reunited, back home where they belong. They're probably watching over us right now, at one with Great Dana. There's something almost poetic about it.
That's why I can't afford to screw up. If I know my pops, something as paltry as death won't stop him from coming to box my ears. Still, better than being left alone, I guess. Better than never knowing. You hear that, Dad? I'll make you proud. You'll see.
That was quite the little adventure we went on.
What do you all say to taking the path less trodden for once?
Path? I don't see any path.
Do you mean that thing that looks like an animal trail? Path may be a generous term. I'm assuming you know where it leads?
My gut says to a bridge.
Hoodle says your gut's wrong.
Really? Well, it is definitely in the right general direction.
Not that main roads are necessarily danger-free, but he does have an uncanny knack for insisting on some strange and unique routes.
Alvin always did like a challenge. Can't say I appreciate some of the more daredevil ways he's taken us, though.
Like the landslide he insisted was a shortcut before disappearing off the edge? Nearly gave me a heart attack.
I'll say, yet the intrepid explorer looked as happy as a pig in muck.
Probably best we stick to doing our own orienteering in the future.
Hey, so what about this route then?
Maybe if we pretend we can't hear him.
Don't you think the path forward is fraught enough without making extra problems for ourselves? Maybe best to reel it back.
Good point. I say we stick to the main track like regular travelers for once.
Guys? I will break down this wall!
This poem is sure to leave an impression.
Mind if I join you, Law?
I'll take guard duty tonight. It's fine. Time to make you all proud out there, just like I always. do.
We've reached our destination.
Looks like we've warped into that pit of astral energy.
Ganquill.
Guess they don't need their Red Woman disguises anymore.
Wait, can you understand us?
It's no use. We're not going to get through to them.
So they really are being controlled. In that case, we've got no choice.
I knew there was something off here!
They're not pulling punches. We have no choice but to beat them at their own game.
Where are you going?
Hold the line!
Breath of life. Feel my weary.
Far beyond the darkest sky!
Easter!
I come into the shadow!
Grant me the strength to march on.
You're mine!
Shooting star! Finish with Odyssey!
Finish it!
Shooting star! This one's got your name on it!
Ashes to ashes. A merry distraction.
Glacial
The
Spear!
enemy wields art too.
We'll soon see about that! Freeze Lancer!
Not today!
Far beyond the darkest corridor!
Crush!
Lunar Production!
What I can do!
Raining fire!
I'm ready! Far beyond the darkest... This one's got your name on it!
Ashes to ashes.
Far beyond the darkest sky! By the power of water! Far beyond the darkest sky! Close one!
No dawn shall break this night.
Far beyond the darkest sky! Eyes in the sky and beyond!
Shall not be forgotten.
Shooting! Armor fire!
Spear!
Complete focus! Far beyond the darkest sky!
This one's mine!
All upon thee! By the power of flame! Vanish without a trace! A chain between heaven and earth!
Radiant light.
A wailing divine savior! A chain between heaven and earth! Jolene! This one's got your name on it!
Ashes to ashes.
Don't mind if I do!
You're mine!
Captivity.
Magic is there! It's go time! Chain blah blah blah!
Rising Viper!
I'm ready! Get toasty!
Bird strike!
Far beyond the...
Double demon face!
Armor won't save you!
I'm ready!
Astral energy!
Say no more!
Alphen.
I can't forgive them for what they've done, but I hate killing them. They don't even know why they're fighting. How does that even make them any different from the Danon slaves?
Perhaps. However, if we don't make a choice, the guilt of not doing anything will be that much worse.
Yeah, I know. I hate for it to be like this. But if it happens again, you won't find me hesitating to act.
I wonder if we're going to get attacked again.
If we lose heart now, this whole mission is over. We have to...
shadows. I thought there'd be more dirt and rocks and stuff underneath the hollowed ocean, but it's all artificial.
I would imagine they're remnants left behind by the Helganquil, seeing as there's little actual land remaining.
It's incredible. Do you think it stretches all the way down to the center of the planet?
Hey, these guys built Lenegis, remember? They probably did this in a weekend.
If they had the power to create things like this, did they really only use those immense capabilities to serve the Great Spirit? Or rather, was that the only use the Great Spirit let them use their capabilities for? We haven't seen anyone here except Helganquil. Looks like this place really is their home planet.
The true citizens of Rena. What a shame that they have become nothing more than puppets to the Great Spirit. To think of the promise their accomplishments once held. They had the potential to be great indeed.
Do you think we could have got along with them? You know, if we had met under different circumstances. Like
all of us, you mean? I suppose it's difficult to say for sure. We don't even know if they would see us as being on an equal level with them or not.
I think we may have had the chance once, before the Renan Great Spirit came along and changed everything.
You and Alphen both share an optimism. A strong willingness to believe in hope.
Do you think that's foolish?
On the contrary, I should like to take a leaf from your book myself. In tragedy's aftermath, hope is all we have.
Just look at the size of that thing. The Helganquil's technology certainly is impressive. And they don't seem to do things by halves either. In the past 300 years, no, even before that, just how many people, Renan or Danon, do you think have ever seen this?
Regarding the past 3 centuries, at least, I'd say there's a good chance that we're the first. Also, while I get that it's impressive and all, I'm just amazed you're still standing around gawping at it at a time like this. Sometimes I wonder about your priorities.
I can understand where he's coming from. More to the point, does anyone know where it leads?
What do you mean where it leads? To the center of the planet, of course.
And that doesn't strike you as sounding just a little bit, I don't know, far? There has to be a quicker way to get there, right?
Yeah. With all this technology at their fingertips, it seems pretty unlikely that they'd make that kind of journey on foot. There must be some kind of device somewhere. Let's see if we can figure out how to use it.
Borrow one of their contraptions? You're either brave or out of your mind.
If it works for them, there's no reason it wouldn't for us. Why make things harder for ourselves?
You know what he's like, Law. Once he gets an idea in his head, there's no talking him out of it.
A 6-armed giant. Is this the Zoogle from the request?
It's not only alive, but completely uninjured.
We'll just have to see for ourselves if it's really as ferocious as they say.
We're in for a long slog with this one.
This is gonna need all of us together!
Rising Falcon!
Lunar corruption!
Exploit the enemy's weakness. No further!
A chain between heaven and earth! A wailing battle! I'll heal you all! Divine Heart! A chain between heaven and earth! Blah, 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 that's it!
Shattering of pieces!
You do the same thing. You get the kill. I never miss! Divine Savior! You get the kill.
In a bind, Demon Fang!
A chain between heaven and earth! A wailing battle! Lightning! Divine Seed! A chain between heaven and earth. Magic is in! Ready and real! You get the gist.
I'm gonna need more than that. This one keeps charging us!
That's what my shield's for. Get behind me.
Done! I'll leave it to you! No further!
Got it! Now left hand!
Coming through! Ha! Now! Scarlet Inferno!
By the power of fire! Far beyond the darkest sky!
Burn regeneration!
Regenerate!
Okay, here I
Is that a healing art?
It is. I can't ignore your pain. Now try to be more careful.
ready and ready! Colorado!
Burning strike!
Rising Phoenix!
Divine chain between heaven and earth!
Shine! Radiant light! Force of regeneration!
The earth throbs in pain.
Annihilation! A chain between heaven and earth!
This is bad, right?
Yes, Alphen! Very bad!
I don't feel so good.
A chain between heaven and earth! Far enough! Healing circle! What would I do? A chain between heaven and earth! Power of flame! Magic is in! Without a trace!
regeneration!
Hear me! Flame of fury!
Ready and ready!
Glacial spear! Here's evil! Shooting star! Freeze laser!
Awaken and
Far beyond darkest sky! I call upon him!
Take this! Ignite!
Fled far beyond the darkest sky! I call upon thee!
Demon Fang!
Shooting star! By the power of the flame! Vanish without a trace! A chain between heaven and earth! I'm ready! Far enough!
Take this!
Blah, blah, blah.
Done!
Get toasty!
Burn strike!
A chain between heaven and earth!
Rising Rider! Flame inside me! Eating
I'm ready!
Keep rolling the floor! Burn! Now we're never. Roaring blast!
That move!
In a bind? Here comes a big one!
I never miss!
Radiant light! Rising regeneration! Regenerate!
Forgive me.
You'll pay for that! You're mine!
Far beyond the darkest sky! I call
Shattering
that
us pieces! Attack time!
Far beyond the darkest sky! Far beyond the darkest sky! I call upon thee! By the power of
Nothing
flame!
gets by me!
Far enough!
Here I come! Heal! Sword Rain Alpha!
Shooting star! Far beyond the dark... Blah, blah, blah! Burning
Burn in hell!
Blah, blah, blah!
Bloody hell!
Shooting star! Far beyond... Here's evil! Shooting
Negative
star!
gain! Rending you apart!
Here! Far beyond... Blah, blah!
Demon
Shooting star! It's weakened!
It's go time! This ends now!
Far beyond the darkest... Glacial spear! Here's evil! Freeze lancer! Close one! Water! Hear my call! Far beyond the darkest sky! I fear! Here's evil! Freeze
Not
laser!
today!
Far beyond the darkest sky! I call upon thee! That'll bring you down! Shooting star! Far beyond the darkest sky!
Leave the chargers to me.
Red! Glacial spear! Here's divine!
Can't get out of this!
Freeze laser!
I can carve through arms down on the ground!
You get it! Not on my watch! Back into the fray! Barbie! Blah, blah, blah! Shooting star! Barbie! Blah, blah, blah! Barbie! You get the gist!
One final push!
Let's finish this off!
I'll do my best not to disappoint.
Barbie! Blah, blah, blah! Shooting star! Barbie! You get the gist! Shooting star! Burning strike! Barb, you get the gist!
Can't get out of
The fluidity of your movement.
Gonna attack!
Right, watch out!
Smash you!
Shooting star! Here's a healing art! First aid! Barb, you get the gist! Shooting star! Ready to go! By the power of flame! Vanish without a trace! No more midnight girl! A chain between heaven and earth! A wailing Gandio divine state! I'll take it from here! Let's see how you handle this! Deus Roar! Here,
Not today!
Far beyond the darkest I can't heal Hold on to your art. Here I come.
Take this!
Far beyond the darkest sky. Hear my call upon thee.
It's go time! Now you see what I can do!
Far beyond the dark. I'm sorry. Here I go.
Forgive me. This is my battle. In the soil. Awaken and resist it.
I'm all stuck.
Masterful dash! Bringing you a pump.
I'll bring you back from death to this.
Demon Fang! Double Demon Fang!
There, go.
Another incantation
That's gonna
ruined.
smart. This help? Just what the doctor ordered. Healing circle. Far.
Leave the torches to me!
Forward. Iron flame.
No further!
Shooting star. Far beyond the darkest sky. I call upon thee. Helping. Astral energy.
Say no more!
Well, we beat it in the end.
Let us harvest what we can use and take it with us.
Built for the sake of it and then cast aside. How sad.
I wonder how the Renans avoided being mind-controlled like the Helganquil. Do you think it might have something to do with the fact that they were originally Danans?
I'd say it's likely. Which is pretty ironic when you think about it.
Ironic?
The Renans have committed grave injustices against the Danans. But it was all of their own volition, not because they were being controlled. Now, it turns out they themselves were once Danans too.
Which must mean that the root of their evil isn't the Great Spirit, but something inherent in all of us. Our free will.
Now hang on, though. It was that same free will that allowed Xion and Dohalim to choose to fight alongside us. Without it, we wouldn't have been able to beat hatred and forge all those connections we've made. Free will is what saved us, right?
Law's entirely right. In any case, it certainly can't hurt to look on the bright side every now and then.
Yeah. Where there's hope, there's a way.
What'd he say?
He said, without a doubt.
Is this a dead end?
It appears this whole room functions as an elevator. That apparatus there is likely what's used to control it.
What the? Where did they come from?
Less worry, more action. Concentrate. A chain between heaven and earth.
This one's mine!
These things really get on my nerves.
I'm like bait to them.
A chain between heaven.
Pesky airborne
I think we can get through this.
Sounds like a job for yours
until it's
truly.
over.
Who said anything about letting off?
Finish it!
Look sharp! Lightning Tiger Blade! See that?
Chain
That
between
training's
heaven
paying
and earth.
off!
I can carve through
A
armor!
wailing banshee of lightning. Divine faith. A chain between heaven and earth. Magic Kazam.
I think the enemy's
Divine faith.
Take this! This one's for you!
Make it rain!
Kitara. Frozen.
Hammer!
A chain between heaven and earth.
Severing wind!
A wailing banshee of divine faith. A chain between heaven
Not
and earth.
today!
Blah 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 magic. Hurricane strike. Divine faith. You get the gist. Divine faith.
Xion!
Go for it.
Prepare to crumble!
A chain. Enemies incoming.
You see what happened there is then we'll take them down!
Not in your dreams.
I'm on it! Their arms were
Chain
interrupted!
between heaven and earth.
gets by me.
Talon Hurricane!
Where are you going?
I'll crush you! Lightning reflexes! Tenebrous claw! carve through all! Look sharp! Lightning Tiger Blade!
Far beyond the darkest sky! I never miss! Let the marksman handle this! Shooting star! Far beyond the darkest sky!
Can't get out of this!
I'm on a roll! Where are you going? Far beyond the darkest sky!
You made quick work of them!
Want me to pick up your slack then?
Just pointing it out!
Wrong spot!
Shooting star! Far you get
Do it! All yours, Kisara!
Far beyond the darkest sky! I call upon thee! Shooting star! Far beyond the darkest sky! I call upon thee! Shooting star! This one's mine! God, that'll bring you down! Eat first!
Finish it! In an instant!
Impact block! Far beyond the darkest sky!
Do you require help?
Strike! This one's mine! Grind and rest!
Burn in hell!
Shooting star! Far beyond... Where are you going?
Glimmer Dragon!
Now you see what I do it!
Shooting Gohalim!
Light Burst Force!
Radiant Citizen! Far beyond... Hurricane Strike!
This is looking good! Demon Fang!
Oh! Now I'm real mad!
Shooting star! Far beyond the darkest sky!
Demon Fang!
Take this!
Double Demon Fang!
Shooting star! Far beyond...
Commander of Heaven!
Phoenix Cyclone!
Did it!
Yeah! Nice!
Technique.
This one's mine! Where are you going? Far beyond the darkest skies! I call upon Here's a healing art! First aid! Shooting star! Far beyond the darkest skies!
This one's mine!
Call upon thee! Switch to Shooting star! Far beyond astral energy!
Say no more!
Step back! This one's all law!
Even in such a harsh environment as this, there are still creatures here?
You think they're native to Rena? Or could they be Zoogle somehow?
Whatever they are, they're dangerous. Watch yourselves around them. You think that pit stretches all the way to Rena's core?
If that's... It's true. And if we go down, we should find the Great Spirit at the bottom.
We could get there even faster if we simply jump down instead.
You sound alarmingly serious when you say that.
Won't be between heaven and earth. Don't be such a pessimist.
Rising up!
A chain between heaven and earth.
Now you see what I can do!
Prepare to be seized! Driving me mad!
A chain between heaven and earth.
Leave the charge! Blind freak! Why can't they just sit still?
Xion, can you take care of them?
No sooner said than done. A chain between heaven and earth. Get toasty!
Burn strike!
Right, chain between heaven and earth.
Frickin' does it! Already on it!
A wailing downfield divine radiant here. A chain between heaven and earth. Blah blah blah. Here, divine far beyond the darkest blah blah blah.
Finish it!
Alvin, this ends now.
Consider yourself finished!
Far beyond the darkest sky. I'm out of egg. Listen, shooting star. Far beyond the darkest sky. I call upon thee. Shooting star. Here's another. Xion, astral energy. Full throttle.
I've still got a ways to go!
A chain between heaven and earth.
Can't get out of this!
Radiant divine save. A chain.
Armor won't save you!
These ones can run freaks around us.
You're mine!
Take this!
Burn
Your arts are really incredible.
It's thanks to you I can use them. Your astral arts are truly incredible. Every little bit helps, right? Indeed it does. I'll keep pushing to be better as well. Alvin! This ends now!
Consider yourself finished!
There you go, Alvin!
It's time to end this battle!
I'm right beside you. Am I on a roll or what?
Well, look who's in a bright and shiny mood.
Man,
between
I
heaven and
hope I
earth.
live long enough to regret this.
Chain between heaven.
You're mine!
Two heads. It's not even fair. Here's my call. Glacial spear. Pierce evil. Divine savior.
Armor is all mine.
Let me show you what my art can do. Divine
You picked the wrong fight!
Now we're not getting started. In a bind, ready to go.
Here I go!
Denied.
shooting
Demon
star.
Let's tear him up.
I can't imagine what we'd do without you and all.
Stand back. I'll trip it up.
Here's the healing art. Divine savior.
Destruction!
It's time.
Double demon coming through! Ha! Now! Scarlet Inferno!
Mad
In a bind, slot.
burning. Watch your back.
I don't feel like my
This
usual
one's
self.
mine.
Are you alright?
Let me handle this one.
So sorry
Now
to
you see what I
disappoint
can
you.
do.
Divine savior. Chain the you get the gist. Divine savior.
Take this!
Blah blah blah. Divine arts require complete focus.
Double demon fang!
Take this.
Healing
Demon
circle.
fang!
The chain between heaven and earth. A wailing Banfield. Divine savior.
Sonic thrust!
A chain between. I'm ready. Vanish without a trace. A chain between heaven and earth.
Flame inside me yearns to be let free!
Divine
Shouldn't have
savior.
messed with me.
A chain between heaven and earth. Divine savior.
What I can do.
Do it.
Kisara, I'll stop your movement.
And I'll stop your life. These bad guys really don't mess around. We got some good equipment.
I can't say its appearance is to my tastes, personally.
Know the word defeat. I think I'll pass out the handshake. Shooting star! Far beyond the darkest sky! I call upon thee! Shooting star!
Not today!
I call upon thee!
I can carve through walls!
Shooting star!
In a vine!
Outstanding form!
Nothing gets by me!
First aid!
Now I can let loose!
Shooting star! Shooting star! Where are you going? Shooting star! I'm going to need to use all the power of my healing arts to far beyond the darkest sky!
It's time!
Resurrection!
Do without this pain!
Thanks so much!
This one's mine!
By the shooting star! Far beyond the darkest
I
sky!
can carve through
Call
walls!
upon thee!
Can't get out of this!
Shooting star!
Coming through! Ha! Now! Scarlet Inferno!
Here's the do it! Sion, astral energy, full throttle! Go! I've never seen so many bullseyes.
I couldn't have done it without you.
These structures don't look like anything built by the Renans. And what we saw in the Forbidden Zone.
Perhaps this is the true architectural style of the Helgang. Well. Or perhaps the officers, given their situation.
I've got a really bad feeling about this.
They got me!
Insects should stay on the ground.
I'm on it!
Ready to go! Go
Pesky airborne scoundrels!
Sounds like a job for yours truly.
Ignite!
Here! Searing flame! Do it! Sion, astral energy, full throttle! A flawless victory.
Now or never.
Naturally.
Leave the ensnaring to me. Yeah! And the pummeling to me!
This one's mine!
Glacial
Armor
spear.
won't
Pierce
save you.
evil.
Take this!
Freeze laser. Here goes. In the sky is mine. Celestial hammer.
Do it! Kisara! Commander of Heaven!
Phoenix Cyclone. Here I go.
Rising Wyvern! Double Demon Fang! I'm on! Demon Fang! Double Demon Fang!
Do it. Nothing
Demon
gets. This ends now.
Consider yourself finished!
Am I on a roll or what?
Well, look who's in a bright and shiny mood.
Oh man!
Between heaven
I
and
hope I
earth.
live long enough to regret this! Freaking done it!
Divide my heart.
Now or never!
Rise and shine. Far beyond the
In a vine?
Demon Fang! Double Demon Fang!
Just
I'll smash you!
shooting star. Far beyond the darkest sky. This one's mine.
Watch the
Shooting
flame
star.
inside is yours to be let free!
Do it. Shooting star. This ends now.
Consider yourself finished!
There you go, Elfin.
It's time to end this battle!
I'm right beside you. I guess you have your uses now and again.
Told ya! Lies unstoppable!
Damn, you're not like that all.
I'm even stronger than before.
No
A
choice!
chain between heaven and earth. Pierce evil. A wailing arts require complete focus! Freeze laser! Careful! It has some kind of camouflage!
I can carve through armor!
Radiant
Can't
punch!
get out of this!
Here! Celestial
roll now!
Reload!
Explosive
Let me
ring!
show you what my art can do!
This
Rise
one's all
and shine!
mine! This one's mine!
Far beyond the darkest side! I call upon thee!
Watch this!
Shooting star! Far beyond the darkest side! I call upon thee! Celestial Ether! This one's mine! Go get it!
Here, throbs in pain.
Here I go! Go! Chain between heavens! I'll fix you up! Divine Savior! Hit by the power of
Nearly done for.
Finish without a celestial hammer!
You picked the wrong fight!
Swallow dance! I can carve through armor!
Tunnel!
Bang! Double demon
As
bang!
magic as am!
Swallow dance!
Burning! You get the death spear! Evil! Freeze laser!
Coming
Charge
through!
like that could easily be fatal.
Just as
No!
well, I'm here to stop it.
Scarlet Inferno! Double demon bang!
All disasters
Demon bang! Double demon bang!
Can't get out of this! Can't move! Should have messed with me!
I call upon you! Blah blah blah! Mad burning! Not in your dreams! Blah blah blah! Divine Savior!
I'll crush you! Lightning reflexes! Tenebrous claw! Rolling snap!
Hit!
Do it!
Alpin! Astral energy!
Say no more! This should make for some good weapon craft. Material.
Those thorns.
I'm not letting them get in our way! The design of this equipment is really interesting.
You must really like it, Alpin. No further! There! Pounce it!
Swallow dance!
Shooting star! Glacial spear! Pierce evil! Freeze laser!
Inferno punch! I can carve! I'm on a roll now! I'm free! Why can't they just sit still?
Sia, can you take care of them?
No sooner said than done!
Yeah, now we're never
Let me have this one's mine!
You're mine!
Here's a healing art!
Do it!
Blade! This ends now!
Consider yourself finished!
There you go, Alpin!
It's time to end this battle!
I'm right beside you! Arts requires complete focus! Far beyond the darkest side! Here goes! Glacial spear! Shooting star! A chain between heaven and earth! A wailing...
Prepare to be sealed!
This one's mine!
Can't get out of this!
Turn the tables on them!
There are still ways!
Right, want me to pick up your slack?
Astral energy! Full throttle! I'm ready for the next battle!
Brace yourselves! This one's tough!
Soldier field! Far beyond the darkest sky!
Now you see what I can do! Now I'm even doing!
Burning strike! Shooting star! Freeze laser! A chain between heaven and magic is there! Divine blade!
Now or never!
Something's wrong with me.
You just say the word and I'm there.
I can't believe it's come to this.
Shooting star!
Why'd you heal me?
To stop you dying?
Right.
Shooting star! Far beyond the dark. Blah, blah, blah. Shooting star!
I can carve through
Far
armor!
beyond, you get the gist.
You see what happened there as you crossed? Shouldn't have done that!
Well, this one's mine.
In a vine?
Shooting star! Annihilation! By the
I'll crush you! Lightning reflexes! Tenebrous claw!
Far beyond the darkest skies, I call upon thee! Lunar corruption! Require complete focus! Annihilation! Radiant sun! By the power
This
of
one's
flame!
mine!
Vanish without a trace!
That did it.
Explosion! Not in your dreams!
Be still!
Ready and rail! I'm going to need to use all the power of my healing arts to far beyond the darkest skies! I call
you
you
hear it now!
I can't hear it ever! Blah, 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 do it! Neon! Astral energy! Full throttle! Haha! Am I on a roll or what?
Well, look who's in a bright and shiny mood.
Oh man, I hope I live long enough to regret it.
Ignite!
I'll tear you apart!
Arts require complete focus!
Take this!
Watch this!
Sword Rain Alpha!
By the power of flame! Vanish without a trace!
If it's
Shooting
in the
star
sky,
beyond the darkest skies! I call upon
Anything in armor
thee!
is all mine! I'm just getting started!
Ready!
Demon Fang!
Water, hear my call!
Now or never!
Flame!
No further!
Not today!
We're cleaning house.
Let me take the rest of them!
Whoa, someone's feeling lively! Go for it!
Prepare to crumble!
Far beyond the darkest flame! Here's far beyond the darkest skies! I call upon thee! Here's a healing shooting star!
What a relief!
Devastation! Rising
Annihilation! Do it! Neon! Astral energy! Full throttle!
Hold up! Is this as valuable as I think it is?
Hey, that looks pretty good.
you! Denied! Your armor won't save you!
Demon Fang! Double Demon Fang! Time to cross blade! I'm on it! This one's mine!
Shooting star! Far beyond the dark.
No further!
Dust to dust! Watch this!
Incineration wave!
Shooting star!
I'll crush you! Lightning reflexes! Tenebrous claw!
Far beyond the darkest skies. I call upon thee.
Just getting started!
Far beyond the darkest skies. I call upon thee.
Sword
Shooting star! Far beyond the darkest skies. I call upon thee. Shooting star! Far beyond the darkest. Magic is it?
No further!
I'm on shooting star! Far beyond the shooting star! Shooting star!
Ready to go!
Healing circle!
Denied!
I'm on standing form. Thanks for the healing. Watch yourself, okay? Yeah, you too. Blah blah blah. Shooting star!
I'll stop its charge!
Thanks, Kisara. I'll heal you all.
Do it!
Take
Shield!
this one's got your name on it.
Ashes to ashes!
That extra training paid off.
This one's tough!
I can carve through armor in a vine.
Rising Wyvern!
Divine fire! I don't know what to do about this.
Perhaps now isn't the time?
Inferno punch! Here! Look sharp! Lightning Tiger Blade!
See that?
That training's paying off!
Wailing Danfield!
Rising Phoenix!
There's always room for improvement.
Leave the chargers to me!
Easter! First strike!
Power of water! Mega Burn!
It can hide itself? Amazing! Demon Fang!
Shooting
I can
star!
carve through armor.
Far beyond the darkest explosion! Shooting star!
Now I'm in the groove.
Annihilation! That'll bring you down!
Demon Fang!
I'm going to need to use all...
I'll crush you! Lightning reflexes! Tenebrous claw! Dust to dust!
Celestial Hammer!
It's time! Demon, not today!
Let's tear him up!
Just wait!
Eagle dive! Take this!
Thanks so much!
I'll smash you!
Destruction!
Back into the fray! Reload! Don't mind
This
if I
one
do.
keeps charging us!
That's what my shield's for. Get
I'm
behind
going
me.
to need
Got
to
it.
use all the
I'll leave it
power
to you.
of energy. Gotta hold it together.
Be
Do or
still.
die. Far beyond the dark
Pirate escape! Lunar Rondo!
Now I'm in the groove!
Shooting star!
Double Demon Fang!
Here's a healing arc. First
There
aid!
you go! Yours to be let free!
Select
Now or never!
Dragon Shadow! Blah, blah, blah.
In a vine?
Ice prison!
Now I'm in the groove!
First aid!
Okay, here I go!
Oh, now you're talking!
Incineration wave!
Lunar
Finish it!
Elton!
Look sharp! Lightning Tiger Blade!
I felt better, that's for sure. dispose of the trash. I never miss. This one's mine. Shooting star! Far beyond the darkest skies. Come on! Shooting star! Far beyond the darkest
Pesky airborne scoundrels.
Sounds like a job for yours truly.
The earth throbs in pain.
Finish it!
Xion, astral energy, full throttle! A flawless victory. Naturally. Need to pull myself together. Lunar corruption! Gemini Aqua! Shooting star! Far beyond the darkest sky!
Now or never.
Without a trace! Shooting star!
Anything in order to get out of this!
Divide!
We got you! I'll crush you! Lightning reflexes! Tenebrous claw!
This ends now!
Consider yourself finished!
We won that by a mile!
It'll be a breeze.
Trouble.
Get in, get out. Denied!
You picked the wrong fight!
I'll heal you all!
Take this!
Cyclone!
Enough done!
A whirling struggle!
I'll smash you!
Winds of heaven! First force! Cyclone! A blah 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 magic!
Eat this!
Demon Fang! Sword Rain Alpha!
Magic is out!
Burning Slash!
Burning storm!
Now or never.
Hold together, just a little longer.
Thanks for the sympathy.
Get it together. We need you informed.
Eat dirt!
Blah blah blah.
Now you're talking!
Coming through! Ha! Now! Scarlet Inferno! Demon Fang!
Over one safety!
Demon Fang!
No
further! Demon Fang! Double Demon Fang!
For you! Lost my focus!
I can't heal you forever.
Leave the target to me!
Radiant the best medicine is the top. Mega Ray! Not on my watch! Far beyond the darkest star! I call upon thee! Shooting star! Magic is am! Gemini Aqua!
Annihilation Wave!
Shooting star! One more! Here's another!
Ready and ready! These fists have got your name on them!
I could do without
Celestial! Let the marksman handle this!
Demon Fang! Not today!
Blah blah blah!
I'll crush you! Lightning reflexes! Tenebrous claw!
Outstanding form!
Finish it! In an instant! Impact Block!
Remember to tell me if you need healing.
I expect you'll be in high demand if that's the case.
No backing down! I can carve through armor! Swallow Blade!
Mega Ray!
Double Demon Fang!
I'm just getting started!
Ah!
Far beyond the darkest sky! I call upon Arch Demon for the
now
Far beyond the I never miss!
Demon Fang! Incineration Wave!
Shooting star! Far beyond!
I'll burn it all! Flaming Pillar! Fire!
Far beyond the darkest skies! I call upon
In a bind? Now I'm in the groove!
Incineration Wave!
Shooting star! A chain between heaven and earth! Here's the evil! A blah blah blah!
Dragon Claw!
Now you see what I can do!
Demon Fang! Double Demon Fang! Burn in hell!
I'm on!
amazing.
Incineration wave!
You get the gist. Divine Savior! Reload!
Here I come!
Eat this! Here goes!
Blow away!
Go get annihilation!
Demon
Blah,
Fang!
blah, blah, blah. Divine Savior! You get the gist.
Shattering? Now I'm in trouble.
Blah, blah, blah.
Shouldn't have messed with me.
Divine Savior! Burning? Do it! Neon! Astral energy! Full throttle! Go!
They've really got us on the ropes.
Don't forget to heal your wounds. That equipment should come in handy.
Little help!
This one's all mine!
Hear my call! If it's in the sky, it's mine! The chain between heaven and earth!
No further.
As if the normal crazy crawlies aren't exciting enough. Here goes!
Here I come! You're mine!
Denied! A chain between heaven and earth! Divine Savior!
I'll crush you! Lightning reflexes! Tenebrous claw! Now you see what I can all finish you here and now! I'm on it! The flame and fire is good to be let free!
Far beyond the target line!
Now we're not
Awesome! Demon Fang!
can't get out of this!
Double Demon
Far
Fang!
beyond the target! Magic is there!
Demon Fang!
Shooting star! Far beyond the
Blah, blah, blah.
Shooting star! Far and never miss!
Demon Fang!
Shooting star!
Double Demon! I could do without this pain! Double
First
Demon
aid!
Fang!
Hit! Take the far beyond the target again! I call upon outstanding form!
To be let free!
Talon Hurricane! Burning! Run! Take that!
Sword Ray!
Far beyond the target!
I can carve through now!
Far beyond! You get the gist! Shooting star!
Finish it!
Kisara! Go for it!
Prepare to crumble!
Hey, anyone else think this might be a touch too dangerous?
Ridwell's right. We should fall back to regroup and try again later.
Won't forgive you! Heaven and earth! Burning!
I'm on it!
A chain between
Can't get out of this!
Demon Fang! Double Demon Fang!
Divine Savior! Close one!
Burn in hell!
Eat this! Explosion! Shooting star! Far beyond the target star! That frigid does it! Shooting star! Shooting star! Explosion!
First strike! Blew away!
Here goes!
Now I'm in trouble!
Here's another! Bullseye!
Double Demon Fang!
If it's in the sky, it's mine! Shooting star!
I can carve through one!
Piss off!
First
I'm
aid!
sorry to be a bother.
We've all got enough
Not
on us.
today!
Yes, ma'am.
Barbie on the darkest skies! I call upon thee! Shooting star! I can handle it! Freeze laser on my tail!
The earth throbs in pain.
Barbie on the darkest skies! I call upon thee! Gotta hold it together! Do or die!
A charge like that could easily be fatal.
Just as well, I'm here to stop.
Can't be happening!
You're paid for that!
In a bind?
Double Steven! Severing wind!
Shooting star! Barbie! On the darkest skies! I call upon thee! Don't mind if I do! Celestial Hammer!
Radiant light!
Shattering pulse of
regeneration!
Attack
Ice
time!
Prison!
Double Steven Fang!
There you go. I feel like me again. Why, thank you, your lordship.
Here's
And will you lay down your life for your lord?
Well, I mean, hey, let's not be hasty.
I'm nearly done for. What in the world? Don't worry. I'm alright. I'm still standing.
Here we go again.
Denied! A chain between
Steven Fang!
In a bind?
I'm sorry.
Not
I
done
couldn't
yet.
make it in time.
Double Steven Fang!
Resuscitation! I'm ready!
Steven Fang!
Kisara! All yours, Kisara!
So, that didn't go as planned.
We must consider well if this is the right path.
Forgive you!
Negative gate! Now you see what I can do! Spirits within the soul. Awaken and wreak havoc!
I call upon thee!
Swallow blade!
Shooting star!
Blinding freak! What did they just sit still?
Sia, can you take care of them?
No sooner said than done!
Coming through! Ha! Now! Scarlet Inferno!
Theon! Astral energy! Full throttle! A flawless victory! Naturally! Here's a healing arc!
Demon Fang! Double Demon Fang!
Shooting star! Far enough! Far beyond the darkest... That'll bring you down! Primed and ready! Shooting star! Far beyond the darkest... Magic is him! Shooting star! Far beyond the darkest sky! Shooting star! Far beyond... Blah, blah, blah! This is it!
In a bind?
It's time! Double Demon Fang!
Spirits within the soul.
Far beyond the dark here
Take it!
Close one!
Eat dirt!
Far beyond the darkest sky! I call upon thee! Here's the shooting star! That'll bring you down! Far beyond the dark...
I'll smash you! No art of being interrupted. Within the soil.
Blah, blah, blah,
Awaken and
blah.
wreak. Instinct sharpened.
Ready to go! Barbie, you get the death! Shooting star! Barbie, you get hearts required by the power of flame! Finish without a trace!
Incineration Wave!
Don't get in my way!
Do it!
Celestial Hammer! Harlow! I'll take it from here. Let's see how you handle this! Deus Roar!
You picked the wrong fight!
Here goes aid!
Allow me to
Go get him! Annihilation!
no further.
By the power
Demon
of
Fang!
flame! Celestial without a trace! Do it! Theon! Astral energy! Full throttle! With this, I can become even stronger!
I found some equipment.
Let me take a look at it.
What do you think this place was for? Ah!
What the hell? Are they asleep?
No. They appear to be well preserved. However, they are all dead.
Dead? So this is a mass grave?
Looks that way. However, none of them appear to be Helganquil.
Bear in mind that Renans were originally Danans, who were remade and sent to live on Lenegus. Knowing that, they would have needed a place to perform the procedure somewhere.
And that place is here, I assume.
So what you're saying is that all of these are Danan, or rather, Renan bodies?
Most likely, yes. It must have been abandoned for one reason or another.
There are so many of them. They were all taken away, but never given the chance to wake.
What is that thing?
Something we have to fight if we want to get across, it seems.
Be careful! It's huge!
What is with all the huge lumbering beasts lately?
No ordinary zoo. That much is damn sure.
Watch yourselves. Oh, bets are off when it comes to this thing.
Far beyond the darkest sky! I call upon thee! Annihilation! Shooting star! Far beyond the bring you down! I call upon thee! Shooting! I'm ready! Loud magic!
Not today! Its head is 3 points?
We'll need to bring it down somehow to hit it.
In that case, let's start with the one in the middle.
Barb, you get the gist! Shooting star!
Can't get out of
Barb,
this!
you get the gist! Shooting!
Shattering of pieces!
Attack time! Maelstrom! Outstanding form! Far beyond the dark!
Swallow blade!
Soaring blast!
Lightning! Downfall! Shooting star! Far beyond the darkest skies! I call upon thee!
Eat dirt!
Shooting star! Blah 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 magic!
In a bind? Shattering of pieces! Attack time!
I'm right behind you!
Shooting star! Far beyond the darkest skies! I call upon thee! Where are you going? Shooting star! Far beyond the darkest magic is amped! Shooting star! Close one! beyond blah blah blah. Shooting star!
I'm ready!
Shooting star! Far beyond the darkest sky! Shooting star!
I'm ready!
Alvin! This ends now!
Consider yourself finished!
Far beyond the darkest sky! One more!
Anything in armor is all on!
I'm going to need to use all the power of my
Far
healing
beyond
arts
the
to
darkest
accomplish
sky!
this.
I call upon thee!
Thanks, Shield.
Be careful not to overdo it.
I'm sorry. I'll do better.
Annihilation! By the shooting star! Finish without a trace! Far beyond blah blah blah! Far, you get the gist! Shooting star! Blah blah blah!
Ignite!
Nail thrust! Far, you get the gist! Shooting star!
In a vine,
Far, you get the gist! Shooting star!
ready and ready! Armor won't save you!
Fluidity of your movement.
Nail thrust!
I didn't think you had it in you.
Focus. There'll be time to congratulate me later.
Nothing much I can say to that.
Shooting star! Far, blah blah blah! Shooting star! Far beyond the
No
darkest
further.
stars, I call upon thee! Far beyond the darkest sky, I call upon thee! The enemy is going all out! Far beyond the darkest sky!
Shattering the defense!
Magic is there! Lunar corruption! Shooting star! Annihilation! Far enough! Far, you get the gist!
I'm ready!
Xion! Astral energy! Full throttle! Go!
The hell was that thing?
Probably something that was made here and somehow managed to survive, even after all this time. Not that there's any way of knowing now.
What's wrong?
Oh, I just suddenly found myself contemplating what might have happened to the sovereigns that were meant to emerge from the crowned contests.
What do you mean?
You see, the winners of the past crown contests were all strong astral arts practitioners. Furthermore, that enemy we just fought appeared to be composed of several human bodies. It was certainly nothing one would find in nature.
You're saying those were the remains of the winners? That they forgot who they once were?
I'm merely saying it's a possibility.
That's absolutely gruesome. How long had the Helganquil been at this?
It was Rena's great spirit that made them do all of this. Anything to get its astral energy.
We're not gonna jump down, right?
I certainly hope not.
After hearing Dominion's suggestion, I'm honestly not sure what to say.
I assure you all, I was merely stating the possibility.
So, looks like the Helganquil have been engineering Zeugles too. Why doesn't that surprise me at this point?
The creatures we've been encountering here have been a little different to what we're used to fighting, but I'm pretty sure they're Zeugles too.
Do you think they were engineered using creatures native to the area?
Indeed. However, based on the current circumstances, I would guess these Zeugles are all that's left of the planet's fauna now.
You mean, there might have been native owl species here once upon a time too?
we're back in that other room? Did the teleporter fail or something?
Something feels off about it.
Look! Everything's upside down!
The furnishings are, at least. No, you're right. The whole room's flipped on its head.
So what was once down is now up, and vice versa. I suppose the teleporter reversed our orientation then.
Finally. If only we could have flown with the wind to get here faster.
Looks like we get to sleep with a roof over our heads.
Yes.
Hmm? I wonder if something happened. Mm-hmm.
Again?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Hey!
Hmm?
Got it.
Very well.
This is the Basiv training ground.
Hey, isn't that a Hellcat quill?
Is it some sort of prototype?
Whatever it is, it's a real tough customer.
Anything in armor is all mine.
Double Demon Fang!
Glacial
Here I go! Double Demon Fang! Incineration Wave!
Carve through armor.
Can you take it?
I'm ready!
Double Demon Fang!
Where are you going?
Demon Fang! Ignite!
A chain between heaven and earth.
Tornado drive.
Lightning!
Rising
Rising
Phoenix!
A chain between heaven and earth. Blah, blah, blah,
In a bind?
You get a death. Burning!
Denied.
An astral arts?
That's my cue.
Shut him down!
Divine Sting! Blah, blah, blah.
Demon Fang!
Divine Sting!
Showtime!
Radiant, here!
Demon Fang!
Smash you.
It's time!
Celestial Hammer!
Demon Fang!
Hear me! Flame of Fury!
Infernal Torrent! You picked the wrong fight!
Ice Dragonstein!
Severing Wing!
No further.
A chain between heaven and earth. Blah, blah, blah. Magic! Divine! Here goes!
I'll thank you.
Sonic Thrust!
Finish without a
Triple Demon Fang!
Where are you going?
Ready and raring.
Flaming Sun!
I can carve through armor.
Don't mind if I do.
Rising Sun! Kenton!
Lightning!
Burn in hell!
I'm out of it. What? Celestial Hammer! By the power of flame! Finish without a
Infernal Devastation!
Rending you bloody.
Here's the knife! Magic Kazam! Shooting Star! Bar Fugus! Shooting Star! Bar
In a
Fugus!
bind?
Here's a healing arm!
Demon Fang!
Shooting Star!
Why'd you heal me?
Is Kathy dying?
Here goes!
Ignite!
Ready and raring.
Fluidity of your movement. Incredible.
Far beyond the darkest sky! I call upon thee!
Demon Fang!
Shooting Star! Far beyond the darkest sky! shit! Shooting star! Barbie, blah, blah, blah! Where are you going? Shooting star! Barbie, blah, blah, blah!
I'm ready!
Shooting star!
Look sharp! Lightning Tiger Blade! Shattering the pieces! Attack time!
Healing shooting star! Magic is the radiant heal!
Elusive healing! Forward thrust!
Shooting star! Barbie, blah, blah, blah! Shooting star! Not on my watch!
It's time! Not today!
Celestial! More where that came from! Ice prison!
Here I come!
Burning strike!
Get down! Prepare to be killed! Take this!
Bullseye! Ice prison!
Take it!
Into the shadows!
Ready and ready! Heal my weary dude! Try this! Cure!
Shooting star! A chain between heaven and earth! Ready!
Not today!
Ready to go! Divine Savior!
You're
Denied! Blah, blah, blah! I never miss! Blah, blah, blah! Divine Savior! Blah,
Can't
blah,
get out of
blah.
this!
Here! Divine Savior!
Demon Fang!
Not on my watch!
Rending you apart!
Ready to go!
Within the soil.
Awaken and reach!
Blah, blah, blah! Divine Savior! Hit!
Resonate with the earth!
Blah, blah, blah! Divine Savior!
Be still! Awaken and
One
reach!
more! Outstanding form! Alright!
Double
It's
Demon
time!
Fang! Rending you
Healing
apart!
circle!
Bloody hell!
By the power of a chain between heaven and earth!
You require
Oh, this one is almost
no
in the
further!
bag!
We're not done yet!
A chain between
falling
heaven
back.
and earth! Then it's time for you to do what you do best!
To be let free!
A chain between you get the dish!
Soil.
Ready and ready! Here's
I can
evil!
carve through armor!
Burning
Merciful Zap!
One
Rending you
more!
apart!
Not in your dreams!
Sword Rain Alpha!
A chain between heaven and earth! Magic is there! Divine Savior! Blah, blah, blah! Divine Savior! Blah, blah, blah!
This one's mine! I'm ready!
Xion! Astral energy! Full throttle!
How about it?
Yeah. Huh?
Hey!
Watch it!
Oh, wow!
Seriously? Seriously?
I see someone who looks troubled about something.
A little compassion can make all the difference. I propose we speak to them.
Am I on a roll or what?
Well, look who's in a
Yes! Yes! Very!
Seriously, what do they take us for?
Research subjects, just like everything else.
We've reached our destination.
Did we really just spend that much money?
Everything okay there, big guy? You look kinda pissed.
I'll say. He looks like he wants to bite the head off something.
What's eating at you? Come on, Alphen. You're gonna bring us all down if you keep that ferocious scowl on.
Oh, sorry. Do I really look that ticked off?
Yeah, it kinda makes you hard to talk to. So, what's bothering you?
It's a pebble.
A pebble?
Snuck its way into the back of my boot. I can't seem to get rid of it.
Oh, I totally get you. Weird how much it can get on your nerves, huh?
Yeah, it's barely bigger than a grain of sand. So how come it feels like I'm walking around on hot nails?
You know, maybe this is a crazy solution, but you could just take your boot off and give it a shake.
Yeah. Yeah, of course. You're right. Phew. It's like I've been given a new lease on life. Thanks for the tip, Shion.
Seemed kind of obvious, but you're welcome? That's the trouble with windy places. All that fine debris ends up getting into your hair and clothes.
Alphen, Is it just me, or have you become extra sensitive ever since getting your sense of pain back?
Now that you mention it, the other night at camp, there was a fly buzzing around that annoyed him so much, he unsheathed the blazing sword.
So much for sensitive. That's just being a Mr. Cranky Pants.
Nothing new on that front, then.
What's the matter, Alphen? You look a little tense.
It's nothing, really.
He wants to get angry, but knows that doing so would only prove our point. Hence the building frustration showing plainly on his face.
Would you stop analyzing things for 1 minute?
Point taken.
Hey, Shion. Why do you look so tense whenever we're traveling on the road?
Do I? It's not something I do consciously.
It makes you look really Renin in a way, if you get what I mean. Oh, not in a bad way, though.
That's interesting. I never thought I'd see the day where you'd say something being Renin wasn't an insult.
Well, the same goes for you, right? You don't go around saying it's bad to be Danon.
True. I guess you have a point there.
This shall suffice. Please, everyone, have as much as you like.
Mind if I join you, Law?
So, how's it been going?
How's what been going?
Come on, man. You know what I mean. How have things been with you and Shion?
I had a feeling it was about that. Well, what about things on your end?
No, we're not talking about me. I'd rather hear about you.
I don't really have anything to share on that front.
Don't be like that. You think I can't tell something's been going on?
Look, I'm not the type to go blabbing about that kind of stuff.
Give me a break. Don't keep secrets from me just because you're a little old.
I'm not that old.
I don't know, man. Lately it seems like you start wheezing as soon as we get into a fight.
That's some pretty big talk. You really want to try your luck with me? What were we talking about before?
It was... well, it doesn't really matter now.
What's wrong? Did I hit your head too hard?
No, man, you don't get it. You're really something, Alphen.
What do you mean?
Just you. How you always indulge me and help me work through my jumbled thoughts.
Do I?
Yeah, I always feel better after being with you. Even duking it out just now helped.
There you go again, making me out to be better than I really am.
I'm not making you out to be anything. You can't stop me from admiring you, Alphen.
You've got strange taste then.
I'm fine with that. I hope someday I can be there to lift you up, too.
I don't plan on getting quite that old anytime soon.
We should go again sometime.
We should. I look forward to it.
See you guys tomorrow. I feel pretty refreshed after that sleep.